It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome back in. Hope everybody is safe and sound, survived the Stormageddon. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and Cole Bartimus. No, I'm Bartimus. I'm pronouncing it improperly on purpose. Cole is with us, CB 2.0. Chet Holmgren, a.k.a. we'll figure out the nickname at some point. Good to have you, my man.
I am glad to be here, and Chet is all good with me.
Can we go like Baby Chet? We can't just
Baby
go
Chet's
Chet.
good.
Like, do we want to go Baby Chet right now out of the gate? Or is that...
I think I weigh more than him, and he's got like 8 inches on me.
He does kind of have the Slim Reaper.
Jeez, right out of the gate.
Slim Reaper vibe going on. But yeah, Baby Chet.
I weighed in yesterday at 200, and I would put that in at 6'4", 200's all right. But I think I'd be heavier than him.
So you're 6'4", 200
At least
right
in
now.
college. When Chet Holmgren came out of Gonzaga, he was for sure less than 200 pounds.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So am I the baby here?
Not really, but in age, I think you are. Or are you older than Chet
I would say
Holmgren?
No, I'm older than him. I was out of college when he started at Gonzaga.
Okay. So maybe Baby Chet's not going to work.
Is this how the interview went here at the Fan? They asked you how tall you were and how much you weighed when you came in? Because you've announced your stats with authority here.
The funny thing is...
6'4", 200 pounds, weighing in from the fighting city of Dublin.
Now you just need the Chicago Bulls serious music behind that as you introduce me. That'd be great.
Do you know what that music is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I mean, what? I mean, the name of it and all that? You're talking about the intro music.
Right.
Yeah. Sirius.
Sirius. Like the radio.
The Alan Parsons Project, Eye in the Sky?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the Sirius part?
Oh, I thought that was the name of the song. That's what it is in my phone. I have that song in my phone, actually.
I mean, I don't
workout playlist for you.
No, it's kind of like one of those automatic skips.
Okay, real quick, while you guys figure this out, let me do some housekeeping because there's probably some people tuning in,
clean it up, Maddie,
listening
for us,
to this man's voice and wondering what's going on. If you did not catch our last segment of Friday's show, our former producer, Colin, is moving on, staying at the station, going to do some good things around the station, spreading his wings in other realms of radio.
Same cubicle right near us.
Correct.
Not moving anywhere, just not doing the show.
I've been talking to him all morning, so CB is in the building. So the voice you've been hearing, Baby Chet for now, is our new producer, and his name is Cole. I'm sure you've heard him on updates doing great things there. So Cole's going to be with us every day moving forward, for better or worse, probably worse more times than not. So, I just wanted to clean that up for some of our listeners today. We got a new producer. AR and I are here for now.
Never forget, Colin stepped down when he made that announcement. He said,
really
I'm stepping down from the show. So that means it was his call.
He wasn't benched, is what you're saying.
Yes, he went to management. He said, I would rather be doing something else than hanging out with these two. That's
kind of what happened.
Kind of what he said.
It's kind of what we felt like. I thought that we'd put him in the corner there next to you and just let him kind of hover over your shoulder and put some pressure on you and see how it goes. I don't know whether you thrive under that or not, or whether that would be something you'd want.
Time will tell.
Okay. All right, good to see you, fellas.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man.
Everything
good? Spooked me out a little bit. Lightning was strong last night. Lightning was very, very strong. I know, that's for some of the animals that can get a little dicey. Young Matty Ice back in the day would have ran to his parents' room and try to, cuddle up with them. But, yesterday, right around, 10 o'clock, 10:30, it was on and popping where I was at.
I'm going to give our folks at 10 TV a little pat on the back today because last night, the storm wasn't going to arrive to me in Westerville till about 10:20, 10:25.
Yeah.
They had it pinpointed. Well, the other two channels went off the air before it hit me.
Lazy. What are they doing?
What? It got past the center of Columbus and everybody that lives east of Columbus?
We're good.
You're on your own? Like, what happened? Is everybody else, are the suburbs that are west, northwest, are those more important than where we are?
You might be on.
Like, I was kind of talk about weirded out.
Yeah.
So no, my boy Jerry Martz was on trying to pinpoint where I live and all that.
Yeah.
I'm turning everything else on. We got shows are back on. Can't interrupt those.
We know Jerry's built different. Jerry is about that action. He was not going to leave any of us in the dark. He was going to keep us informed. They've done a good job throughout the winter, and yesterday I'm sure they crushed it too. But yeah, it was back in the day, AR, I was not built for thunderstorms as a kid. I was sprinting down the hallway. I do enjoy them now. I actually kind of fall asleep to some rain and a little thunderstorm on YouTube, like a 24-hour loop. You put that on there. It's very pleasant. It's calming at night. It puts me to bed. Yeah.
Very nice. I also believe you were right about the animals because I had to gather up. One of the cats is fine. The other cat, Leviticus, forget him. Like these scratches on my face, I tried to pick him up and take him down into the basement, and he wasn't having any of that. He's like, I got a bed I can run under up there.
Was the cat that did that?
Yes.
Okay.
Cat scratch fever.
Just want to make sure.
What do you think? I ran into a dame of some sorts, or I was a little aggressive on a date or something?
You were tapping into your 50 Shades of Grey bag. I didn't know if that was, something you were exploring this weekend. I wasn't going to knock. I was going to be like, I see you, AR.
You haven't seen the scratches on his back. All right, so we'll get into it. I want to tell you that this is one of those moments that I feel like I rarely, as you know, I don't like to pick a lot of upsets. I said to you before the tournament, I said, let somebody else pull the rabbit out of the hat. That's not me. Yeah, every now and then you can pick a few, but I thought this tournament was so top-heavy. And I remember telling you, I didn't think a double-digit seed would get to the Sweet 16. I think we had one in Arkansas. And now that we have the 4 number ones, I thought, boy, the Elite 8 really failed. I hope that now that we have the 4 number ones, that you have all chalk. And by the way, I can't imagine there aren't like a million brackets that are still alive for like the big prize because you get 4 number ones in. I remember saying to you that if we had a champion that came out of like anything outside of the 1s and 2s, I would have been blown away. It's that tournament, and I don't think it's delivered yet. It's okay. I'm not complaining that I'm comparing it to other tournaments, and I don't think we've had those great moments we usually get. Now, I hope the payoff is, because, Maddie, you got 2s that are getting blown out by 20 by 1s. So it's exactly what I talked about before the tournament, that these 4 number ones were so much bigger than the last 25 years of collective teams that have been great. And now we're here with the 4 number ones. I think we got the beauty of it is, and you should like this, that no one wrecked the tournament in a way.
It really didn't.
And now you've got the 4 heavyweights battling for it all.
I'm here
so
for
let's
it.
hope the Final 4 delivers because the Elite 8 did not.
Yeah, of all the 4 teams remaining, no team has more than 5 losses, and that's Auburn. So Auburn's 32-5. Florida's 34-4. They'll get it on Saturday night at 6. And then the other part of this Final 4 is Houston at 34-4 and Duke at 35-3. So I love this. I love seeing the best teams get after it for the ultimate prize. And here we are. And it's just programs that have been building towards this for years or have been these programs for a while. Like what Kelvin Sampson has built at Houston is just tremendous. And for me, he's a guy that you can easily root for him. And I know a lot of people are going to root for him just because they're going up against the evil empire that is Duke and just that juggernaut of a brand, but more importantly, that juggernaut of a team. And so, yeah, you had some real highlight stuff happening this weekend. It was fun, right? The Florida ending of that game was absolutely off the chain with Walter Clayton Jr. just, we ain't going home. Just everything that he could to propel his team on to the next round. And this is who he's been over the last couple of years. So just big time threes in that game. He's done it last year in the tournament, knocked down a game tying 3 with 11 seconds to go before Colorado, cooked up some magic. And his story is really cool, right? He was at a mid-major at Iona with Rick Pitino, passed on the draft last year, and has just upped his status. But that's just what you want.
Didn't go to St. John's because of all the money they were offering him at Florida.
Passed on all of that. And here he is at Florida stepping up at the most critical time, and he's just got the clutch gene. We saw it in the game against UConn where they made him sweat, right? Where he's hitting free throws late and threes late. And now in this game, again this weekend, he was just an absolute monster. So that was my favorite highlight of this weekend, was watching Walter Clayton pull them out of that Batman hole when they were down 10 with about 6:15 to go. And having Florida move on to the Final Four was really cool to see him do his thing.
Yeah, listen, yesterday saved it because Houston hammering Tennessee and Duke just taking apart Bama, which completely shocked me. I didn't think Bama was going to make 25 threes again,
right.
But you can't go down that way. And Duke's just so much better defensively, and you kind of knew that they were going to be a lot better than what BYU could defend. But I was blown away that you had 1-2 games. They were almost both. One's a 19, one's a 20-point victory. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, the Auburn-Michigan State game was compelling, and you're right. The Florida-Texas Tech game, Texas Tech has to be just sick.
No doubt.
Just sick. You've got them, and you can't put them away. And it may be Florida's calling card now is that no matter where they are, you can't beat them. I don't know. We'll see. Auburn and Florida, you get the SEC on that side. You get Duke, Houston on the other. So we have 4 unbelievable teams. When I look at the analytics of the Final Four, Florida's top 10 in both offense and defense. Duke was, I think, the most balanced team in the country, both top 5 offensively and defensively. Houston, top 10 offense, top 2 defense. And who am I missing? Auburn.
Yep.
They're just outside the top 10 defensively, but they're top 2 offense.
And Broom with a grown man game. We talked about it on Friday. Going up against those bigs, he had to deal with some injuries. He comes out, monster double-double for him. He's been that guy all year, but you just didn't know, right? When you were getting banged up throughout games, what that's going to look like to end that game with 25 and 14 and the defense that Auburn played along the way. Michigan State struggled shooting. We've seen that from them throughout the year. But Johnny Broom, Cooper Flag, those guys. Janai Broom, I'm sorry, thank you. Of getting into this tournament and just put on shows. So, like the headliner guys for these teams, Florida, Auburn, Broom, Flag, like these guys have just absolutely delivered at the most important time. And Broom was just he was a boss in that game against Sparty on this weekend.
Matty, here are your spreads. It's Florida minus 2.5 over Auburn, Duke minus 4.5 over Houston.
That feels right. I can't wait for Duke Houston AR. The offense of Duke going up against this very stout defense of Houston. It's going to be a banger of a matchup.
We'll see how the freshmen handle them. All right, we will come back. We'll dip into football next. We'll do Party Like a Roth Star this hour as always. But up next, what to do with Trey. What is the update with the Bengals on Trey Hendrickson, and what will they do? Will they pay him? We'll give you those details next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Billy.
Hi, I'm Billy Hatcher, a former professional baseball player, and I'm a patient at Tri-State Men's Health. Before I started the treatment, it was like my body was sore all the time, and I was feeling very, very sluggish. One day, I would be full of energy, and the next day it was like, where did all my energy go? And since I've started, my body hasn't felt this good in a long time. I feel like, I'm not 21 to 25 again. It's just been great. I feel very, very comfortable coming here. When you have the energy, it's amazing. You get to do so many other things that you couldn't do prior to that. If you're tired of hurting in the mornings, you want to improve your health, you want to feel better, give a call to Tri-State Men's Health. I promise you, you will feel better.
Thanks, Billy. It's true. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
The best matchup is you in a new Kia from Coughlin Kia. Get into a new Kia now with $0 down. Get 0% financing on select new Kias and make 0 payments for 3 months on any new Kia in stock. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
0% for 72 equals $13.89 per 1,000 financed on Nero EV, EV6, and EV9 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 90 days deferred payments until June 2025. Qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. No security deposit. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Guys, it's College Hoops superfan Timmy Hall. The finals are here, and the only thing for sure is this. It's the last time to bet on college basketball this season. It's been an amazing ride to get here, so get in on all the action, expected and unexpected, with DraftKings Sportsbook. Live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. Ready to make the first bet? Check out the matchups, pick a team to win. It's that simple. First time, here's something special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bonus bets instantly. So bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971 for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. Moving up payday so you could get your money faster. Up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Temperatures will be in the 50s, but dropping as we head throughout the day, and we'll see cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. For tonight, lows overnight down into the upper 30s and mostly cloudy, giving way to more sunshine on Tuesday and highs in the mid-50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back in. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, Baby Chet. Baby Chet is the reason he's Baby Chet Holmgren is because of the look. He's older than Chet, but a lot shorter than Chet, so we go Baby Chet. And the other part is, and I asked him during the break, and he didn't answer this yet, Matty. I said, but Chet Holmgren's 7'1". And I asked him, would you want to be 7'1"?
Your answer
He's
is?
a lot closer.
Yeah, you're 6'4". Your answer is?
There is absolutely no way I would want to be 7'1",
No?
unless you could guarantee that I would have a lengthy NBA career.
Well, definitely lengthy. I'm not sure about the NBA career.
Being tall is awesome, but you do stick out in some certain situations. Like what I've found, especially like wedding receptions, on the dance floor, you're like a head above everybody else. You stick out.
Yeah.
And on the dance floor.
And I'm Caucasian, so you already know I can't dance.
I was going to ask, how do you get down on the dance floor?
Not very great.
Limited?
Not
Got
very
a limited
great.
bag out there?
Yes.
Okay.
It is limited. The liquid courage has to be involved.
Do you get in on the Cupid Shuffle when that comes on?
Yeah, because you can kind of blend in with that. And everybody's doing the same thing, everybody. Anyway.
Okay.
And so like, everyone's kind of like coaching each other. You got to kind of find it.
Cupid Shuffle's a vibe.
So Joshua Perry was in my cousin's wedding.
Really?
And so I think I look up at him. So I think he's 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
Like he is like the best, like don't give a crap dancer. Like, because tall dudes, I'm like, that's always my excuse. Is like, I'm tall, man. Like,
you're not coordinated.
Yeah, tall dudes can't dance.
Right.
Like, you know, we're swimmers and whatever, but like we're not dancers. We're not like gymnasts. Like we have our things.
Yeah.
Joshua Perry doesn't matter. He's out there cutting up on the floor.
I don't think you're looking up at somebody like 1 inch taller.
Well, you know what I mean.
Okay. I was just, I don't, unless you took your shoes off or something, I don't think you're looking up at a guy.
Keep them bunions in your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would max out at 6'6", even 6'7" would feel like a little bit of a stretch. 6'6" would be cool. But, man, 7'1", no way.
Get those lifts, man. Those lifts in them shoes. Bengals are going to let Trey Hendrickson go. Are they, Maddie?
Who knows what's happening, but Zach Taylor's down there speaking at the NFL's annual meetings in Palm Beach, Florida, and had this to say, quote, just got to continue to work through it. Trey's been a big part of our team. We want to work through it with him and his agent, and we'll see where it goes. He's very consistent. Not just 2 years, 4 years for us. I think he's one of the premier pass rushers in the league. Teams have to devote a lot of attention to him as they start their game plan each week. He's been a guy who works his tail off day in and day out, 365 days a year. That's what our bosses say about you. That's what they say about you, which I can respect and appreciate. Again, we'll just continue to work through the process with Trey. So nothing groundbreaking there from the head honcho. It just seems like we've got a staring contest going on from both parties, and there's reports out there that Trey is asking for $30 million a year right now. He's due to make $16 million on the final year of that deal he signed back in 2023. The production, as Zach Taylor mentioned in that quote, has been there. I mean, it's 35 sacks the last 2 years, but it's also an offseason where we've looked at them spend big-time money on 2 wide receivers, and it seems like they've picked those guys obviously before Trey, but does that mean that they're done negotiating with Trey or that they won't meet him at that $30 million number? I would be surprised, AR.
If they met him.
If they got to that number, and not
Wouldn't
only
they already have done it.
And not only got to that number, but got to that number for an extended period of time. And that's where my mind is now. Maybe that's the hang up. It's the age and the years for him. Maybe they would be willing to do a short-term deal, like a 2-year deal, and you get him $31 million. But if he's sitting there, AR, he and his agent asking for 4 years, I could understand why the front office would be hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see this both ways. He's very productive. I've said it on the program before. If you trade him away, you're only weakening a weakness already. How many games can you win? 38-35. They lost a couple, high-scoring games this year. And if the best defense is a great offense, they're certainly leaning into that strategy. I'm all for keeping him. I said even before T. Higgins, I would have kept the balance of Hendrickson. And if I had to pick one, I picked Hendrickson. But I understand what this offense can be with both those guys in it, who they signed. So I'm happy about that for them. But I would look. I think they have him now just because if he's seeking a trade and can't find one, you know what that tells me? That tells me that not only is a team near the end of the first round unlikely to want to trade him and pay him. Like trade something and pay him. Like think about what you'd have to do to get him. What you'd have to give up. The Bengals want a first-round pick or something high end. Yeah. So that's the problem I think we're finding is that if the Bengals were able to get a first-round pick for a 30-year-old guy who's busting the stat sheet right now in a great way, you would think that, maybe they would take it. But I don't think that's been offered.
There's just not a lot of guys in the history of the league that get north of 30 that continue to have their productivity stay at the level where Trey's is right now. So I think that's the biggest hurdle for him at the moment. Like, what he's doing, snap in and snap out, it's undeniable. That's undeniable. But you have to really question yourself if you're the Bengals, if you're another team, and saying, do we really believe that he's going to sustain this level of juice at ages 32, 33, and 34?
He is I've pointed this out before, he is a young 30 as far as the amount of snaps. He is. He's got... he came into the league with Myles Garrett, and he's got like 1,800 less snaps. So maybe the wear and tear isn't on him the way it is a typical 30, 31-year-old guy. But I think you're right. The projected downswing is there.
That's the fear. And what best case scenario, obviously, for the Bengals is him coming back. But more importantly, let's say he does come back. You re-signed a couple guys on your D-line that you either need to say remain healthy. One is B.J. Hill, because when he's out there, I think he is a good player. But also Joseph Asai is the guy that they're betting on. They signed him as well this offseason to a new deal. And they looked at what he did coming down the stretch, and I think they believe that that flash in the pan that we got those last 7 games from Joseph Asai when he had 5 sacks in those games can be a rolling mate next to Trey Hendrickson. This defense has a lot of work to do. We all understand that. But the bets that they've made on the D-line, mainly with Joseph Asai and Miles Murphy, those haven't cashed in yet. And so Sam Hubbard's retired. He had his moments to where he, opposite Trey, was doing some good things. But that's what this is all about now. They're going to probably go heavy spending on the draft on defense this year, as they should. But the guys that they already have in-house that have been there the last few years, they got to go, AR, because Trey's been this good. With all that attention being paid to him, doubles and triple teams, imagine what he could do over the next year or two if some of these guys pop off.
I will tell you, I think they could get him back for less than what he's asking. I do. I think if he wants to be a part of this in the high 20s, then you're good. I'm not here to tell a guy to leave a couple million on the table. I understand that. And I just looked up. So when Chase Young went to San Francisco in 23, it cost a third rounder, and he's just 24. Sweat was going to Chicago at the age of 27. He's worth a second-round pick. The difference between those guys and Hendrickson is probably not talent. It's production. That's the difference. This guy just led the NFL in sacks and was a runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But those guys are younger. So they have exactly what teams want. So I think the Bengals are kind of in a good spot and a bad spot. The good spot is I think they could get him for less than he wants. The bad spot is I think that if they're looking to trade him, I don't think they can get what they're asking, which is a first rounder, because I just compared him to 2 guys that are as talented but not as productive.
I can understand why Trey and his camp, they aren't budging. I get it because of the numbers that you mentioned, not only this year but last year. He's in that class, at least statistically, of Micah Parsons and TJ Watt and Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. And he's also looking around and saying, I'm 30, 31 years old. This is my last crack at a big-time deal in this league, and I got to get every single penny, dime, nickel, quarter, all of that I can this time around, because this is probably going to be my last crack at it. So I get it. I get why he's really digging it.
Yeah. And the Bengals, if they're going to trade him, they want to try to win that trade. So right now, a little bit of a stalemate, but it feels to me like they can get him back. If I was going to bet, I'd bet that they get him back close to where he wants, but not all the way. All right, we will come back with a little Buckeye talk. Jeremy Birmingham from The Pod. We'll talk about the boom the Buckeyes got and more. That's next in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-452-6262. That's 800-452-6262. Again, that's 800-452-6262.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With restrictions. 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, spring ball continuing. Ryan Day spoke to the media today. And a lot of generalities, but certainly things will kind of tip a little bit as we get to that spring showcase game and more. And to kind of weigh in on what's going on outside of it post-Natty for Ohio State is our friend Jeremy Birmingham. Ohio State Recruiting does a lot for them and the podcast, and he's one of the best on the beat. Jeremy, welcome back.
How you guys doing?
Berm, we're okay. I saw today, and you can tell me if you believe in the ranking, that Ohio State landed the number 1 safety in the country. Is that correct?
That is how Blaine Bradford from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is listed by pretty much every major recruiting site, and it is how he is valued and evaluated by the Ohio State coaching staff and recruiting staff. So I like to believe that my opinion is irrelevant as long as Ohio State thinks that he's the best in the country, and they certainly do.
And would you call this, in a way, old days recruiting pre-NIL stuff, you'd almost say you stole a guy. Now we don't really know what landed him specifically to Ohio State and get him out of the South. But give me your take on that. Like, what tipped it for him? A kid from Baton Rouge, not going to LSU, not staying in the SEC, and coming up to Buckeye country.
I mean, a lot of it is just the way Ohio State is able to use its safeties. Caleb Downs is a pretty good example of what the Buckeyes are willing and able to do if you have a guy with that skill set, and Blaine Bradford has it. Again, as you mentioned, it is not usual to pull a kid from that part of the country. In my recollection, I think there's been Jonathan Wells and Nader Abdallah from Louisiana in the last 35 years for Ohio State. So it's not a place that you go down and pluck guys from often. But what you have with Blaine is a player that can do a lot of things, and I think a lot of it is just seeing the example of what Caleb Downs does. And also understanding that it is about to be April, so there are 6 months to go of holding on to this commitment. NIL certainly is going to play a part. Ohio State is not getting him for free because they certainly are not playing with one hand tied behind their back. But a kid who is from Baton Rouge, whose brother's on the team at LSU, it's going to be a battle from here to there. But he's loved Ohio State. He's been to the campus 4 or 5 times in the last 2 years. Really big fan of McArary and the way that those two vibe. And it's in recruiting, it's always been a matter of if you get a commitment this early, it just means you're in the lead. And that certainly is the case for anybody from the South. But for a kid from Louisiana, it feels a little bit more true. That said, I think you just have to feel optimistic that you're in a great spot and keep building the relationship, because that ultimately is going to win the day.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Berm, this offseason, as you know, Coach Day had to, move some pieces around the board when it comes to his coaching staff. One of those guys was Tyler Bowen now coming in, and it looks like he's making a pretty big impact out there on the recruiting trail. Talk about what he's done and a couple of the guys he's got committed to Ohio State so far on paper.
Yeah, he's picked up 3 commitments in the last 3 weeks for Ohio State. Max Riley from Avon Lake, Ohio, Sam Greer from Akron, and Tucker Smith, a guard center from Phoenix. I don't want to disparage the former offensive line coach at Ohio State, because I think Justin Fry did a lot of really great things. He did not always cast a wide net, however, on the recruiting trail. I think if Justin Fry was still at Ohio State, both Sam Greer and Max Riley probably would have been committed by this point anyway. But the addition of a guy like Tucker Smith from Phoenix is something that is a little bit of a departure from what Ohio State would have been doing in the past couple of years. It's a much bigger group of guys that Tyler Bowen is evaluating and picking from. And we've seen in the last 2 weeks already, I think there's been 16 different offensive linemen that they've offered who have been on campus, with a number of others still expected this week and next. So very different approach. Now, the results obviously on the field have to match up, but Tyler Bowen at 35 years old, got a lot of energy, a young guy that players really can relate to, similar to Justin Fry in that way. But I think really the biggest difference is just knowing that you're battling everyone because offensive line is such a premium position. If you have to cast a wide net, and he's doing that.
We are visiting with our friend Jeremy Birmingham, the podcast, Dotting the I's, and on the Ohio State beat. Recruiting is his forte. Let me ask you about Larry Johnson in that room losing all 4 of its starters from the national championship team and what they hope to have this year. And maybe you can speak to the focus on that recruiting trail on the defensive line.
Larry Johnson is a hard guy to figure out when it comes to recruiting. You know that they're going to need to bring in a handful of defensive tackles and defensive ends. But who they are, that is really up in the air. It's been a group that has seen a number of different players move in and out of the board. To be honest with you, as you head into these next couple of weeks, you're going to see who's real and who's not, because a lot of kids around the country are making those decisions. I think Larry is still also fighting a little bit against the idea that he's not going to be around. And so I think you're going to see kids maybe wait a little bit longer when it comes to the defensive line in order to make sure that he's going to still be there or not. So as far as the individual players go, it's hard to pinpoint anyone really, to be honest, at this point, because they just move in and out so fast. We are seeing a number of 27s and 2028s come in. But as far as the 26s go, it's been a couple kids in Georgia. We got a Deuce Gerald, who's a defensive tackle down there. Tyler Atkinson, who's an edge rusher, maybe more of a linebacker at the next level, has also been to campus a number of times. He's a 5-star type. He's really, really explosive. But it's not a situation where there's a lot of guys in the Midwest, and so Larry's having to cast a much wider net than he's used to doing. And so to this point, we're still waiting to see if anybody really emerges as a priority.
Is there a freshman over at the Woody right now that, it's not going to make a Jeremiah Smith impact? Like, that's a one-of-one type of thing that we see from a freshman coming into this program and playing at that level. But is there a guy that was in the latest class that you think could chip away at some playing time and maybe become a bit of a rotational piece throughout the year this season?
On offense, I think maybe it's Bo Jackson, the running back from Cleveland. He's a guy who might have that opportunity more out of requirement than basically just his own, showing up and showing out. With James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson as the only running backs on the roster that you've seen play at Ohio State, really, you've got Bo Jackson and Sam Williams-Dixon competing for that third running back spot, and I think Bo's a guy that could make that sort of impact. If you listen to Carlos Laughlin talk about him, he clearly is very, very a fan of Bo Jackson. And on defense, Ryan Day mentioned him today, but I think Zion Grady, a defensive end from Alabama, is a guy that maybe people need to pay a little bit more attention to. Just because, again, when you're trying to replace the entire defensive line, there's nobody that's really firmly established at those defensive end spots. Yes, we expect Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry to be the guys who play the most reps, but someone's going to have to step up. And I think Zion Grady at 6'5", 250 pounds as a freshman is someone who has that capability. And Ryan Day bringing him up unprompted today, I think, was an indicator that maybe he's worth paying attention to.
Berm, speaking of Day, give me your impact on the extension that Ryan Day signed and what that means for maybe the future quarterback cycle, since he is the quarterback guy. Any impact there, any ripples from the extension and guys feeling comfortable like he's going to be the head coach through 2031?
Well, I think it's like, let's not go back too far to find a former national championship winning coach who bolted for the NFL recently, to know that the coach is going to be there and a guy that is locked in. The NFL has obviously made overtures to Ryan Day in the past, and it has been used against Ohio State a little bit, and now it really can't be. So that's the biggest difference. And we heard it from Sam Greer last week when he committed offensive tackle from Akron-Hoban. Sam said basically that he realized that no matter who Ryan Day hires, Ohio State's going to have a great coaching staff and great offensive line coach, et cetera. And understanding that Ryan Day is now the face of the Ohio State program. This is no longer a guy that is taking over Urban Meyer's program, and it's now firmly Ryan Day's, and he's going to be there for a while, and everyone knows it. And that sort of stability is huge. You see what it does at Clemson, Georgia, et cetera. Everyone knowing that Ryan Day's locked in is just going to make it easier and easier for the Buckeyes to recruit.
For the folks that don't get a chance to watch a lot of high school ball, talk a little bit about Tavian St. Clair and what he was as a talent, at the high school level, and maybe what he can be maybe in a year or two, or who knows, maybe even this year. Just talk about Tavian St. Clair and what you think of him as a player.
I mean, he's 6'4". He's 230 pounds. He runs well. He throws the ball anywhere he wants on the field. He's got touch. He's got arm strength. He's got accuracy. The one thing about Tavian is that he's coming from a place in Bell Fountain where the competition certainly was not something that is going to challenge a player of his talent. So for Tavian, it's about just learning. But he's put so much time in and was at Ohio State so often. He spent last year, his senior year of high school, his entire spring break he spent on campus at Ohio State, being in meetings, being in quarterback conversations. I don't expect him to play this year, but when you're talking about the future of the Ohio State quarterback position, there's no doubt that he's the guy that they have penciled in to do that. I mean, so you're going to see a Julian Sayin and Lincoln Keenholz compete for that spot this year, and I don't think it's fair to even consider Tavian in that conversation for this spring and this fall. But every tool. I don't know if he's as accurate as C.J. Stroud. I don't know if he's as athletic as Justin Fields. But he's got all of the stuff that you want. And more than any of that is that he has an incredible work ethic and a kid who really understands the pressure of what it means to be an Ohio State Buckeye as a kid who grew up 45 minutes away and dreaming of playing there. So it's a unique position to be in. He's the first in-state quarterback to sign with Ohio State since Joe Burrow. So he knows there's pressure, but he's kind of really leaned into it and he loves it. So that's half the battle right there.
Good deal. Good stuff, Berm. Always appreciate you, man. Thanks for hopping on. I hope we talk soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Jeremy Birmingham, the podcast, and dotting the I's on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, when we come back, it's Monday, and we always do. Party like a Roth star. Find out next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
He shoots, he scores!
It's a great time of year to be a fan, but the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. Maryhaven is here to help with in-person, virtual, and group options. Learn more at maryhaven.com.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Wait, Leslie, what is that dude doing over there at that window?
Well, that dude is Chase, and Chase is making that window look perfect. We're sticklers on detail, Wilson, both in our showroom and definitely in people's homes.
Chase, be careful. May have spilled some coffee over there just a bit ago.
Oh, he knows. He seems to work a lot more when you're around, Wilson. Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is caught up in the madness, and he's passing it to you for a slam dunk of deals. He's got rates as low as 0%, leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 2025 Honda Prologue all-wheel drive Elite? Lease it for $297 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $19.99 down. And he's even throwing you an extra $1,000 for your trade. More than 500 new and pre-owned to choose from. See dealer for details at Germain Honda of Dublin.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more locally grown goodness to life with a farm-fresh selection of crisp vegetables and juicy, ready-to-eat fruit. Whether topping off kebabs on the grill or adding healthy color to a leafy green salad, your family will definitely enjoy the delicious taste of Meijer produce. Plus, you'll appreciate the selection and savings we have to offer. That's the fresh-picked good life, priced for real life. We work hard to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
Skyline nachos are back, and now there's a spicy version. Get them with Skyline's cheddar or habanero cheese, topped with fiery jalapeno slices. But hurry, Skyline's regular and new spicy nachos are only at participating restaurants for a limited time.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team.
He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a Roth star.
Indeed it is. All right, I know we're going to talk. Full disclosure, I talked Maddie into talking about this in the second hour. But I'm going to start with not necessarily the onslaught that's happening in the Bronx. The Yankees, in their first series of the season, 36 runs in 3 games.
My goodness.
15 home runs. And now the evil empire sweeping the Brewers and knocking Nestor to another galaxy.
Former Yank.
Yes. Listen to how they started that game against the Brewers on Saturday. Bottom of the first. You ready for this? Back to back to back. To start a game against Nestor?
Who were the 3? Judge,
Goldschmidt,
and
90-mile-an-hour four-seamer, gone. Cody Bellinger, 90-mile-an-hour four-seamer, gone. Yeah. Judge, let's just drop it down to 88 and throw him a cutter, gone. By the way, it went about 470 feet. And then 3 batters later, Austin Wells took one out. They had 9 home runs on the day, but they had, I mean, I don't know how you start a game like that. That's unbelievable. The torpedo bats are a real thing. They have to be. This can't be coincidental. This
couldn't just be hot?
No.
This team?
No. Not like that.
I don't know.
36 runs in 3 games.
I don't know.
And they just happen to have the new space age realigned torpedo bat that everyone wants now. Anyway, they were partying like a Roth star this weekend.
By the way, good on the Yankees, too, for getting rid of the you got to shave your face rule. That happened this all season. Good on them for that. It was so stupid, in my opinion. Like, as long as it's clean shaved, you can have the beard, trim it up nice, get that nice fade like Baby Chet over there has. Then you're good to go. So good on the Yankees for doing that. First candidate for me. I'm going with a man that was born on June 2nd, 1967 in Northport, New York. He stands 6'1". He weighs $185. St. Anthony's High School. Went to college at Richmond. If you don't know who this man is, I'm glad you don't know, because you're about to know. His name is Kenny Atkinson, head coach of your Cleveland Cavaliers. JB Bickerstaff goes on to Detroit, does some really good things this year, by the way. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff, getting them in order. But this is about old Kenny right now. Kenny Atkinson has led the Cavs to their first 60-win season for the first time since LeBron left after his first stint. The last time they reached 60 wins was the 2009-2010 season when they went 61-21. The franchise high mark is 66-16, set back in 2008-2009. The Cavs, they had that 4-game losing streak not too long ago, but they've gotten things back on track. They've won 4 of their last 5. They're 4.5 games up on the Boston Celtics for the 1 seed in the East. If I would have told you that was happening before the season, you would have said, Matty Ice, what are you smoking? And I would have said, you know what? I'm smoking on that good. I got it from Uncle Snoop. Kenny Atkinson, AR. and the Cleveland Cavaliers partying like a rock star. Tremendous job by them. Their offense is really, really good. Number 1 in the league in points per game and all that good stuff. But AR, this was quite the puzzle pieces that he had to put together, and he's done an amazing job. Kenny Atkinson partying like a rock star.
All right, I'll go to the ice, and it's hard for me to ignore what is going on in St. Louis. Maybe the world has ignored it or doesn't know what's happening, but this team has now won 9 in a row, and they have the longest active win streak in the NHL. They've outscored their opponents 39-13 in that span. And I will tell you, they only have 2 guys in the league who are top 50 in points this year. The St. Louis Blues are starting to catch and swallow up teams, and it's unbelievable. The fact that they have 87 points right now and they hold the second spot in the wild card, and they're 6 up on Vancouver, and they're 7 up on Calgary, and my goodness, they're on a roll. There's nothing you can say. They are partying like a Roth star. St. Louis Blues, in honor of Baby Chet, who spent a little time in the city with an arch. This is how you do it this late in the year. You get that hot, and they have been.
You can catch me in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Nelly. Second candidate for me, going to women's hoops. I'm going with a hooper that had to deal with some adversity throughout her career. Freshman year, pandemic season, NCAA tournament was in the bubble, no fans allowed. Her sophomore year, she had a knee injury. She missed half the season because of that. And then her junior year, she missed the whole darn season because of a torn ACL. I'm talking about Paige Beckers for the UConn Huskies. And on Saturday, she was locked in. Paige dropped a 40-piece on Oklahoma's head to send UConn to the Elite Eight. 40 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 6 of 8 from 3. Those 40 points are a career high. She kind of got lost in the shuffle throughout the years because of those injuries, right? She coming out of high school was supposed to be on that level of Caitlin Clark and Juju Watkins, but she was just out of sight, out of mind for a while. No Juju the rest of the way because of her torn ACL. Now Paige has a chance to snatch that crown and lead UConn to a national title, and she has a lot of momentum right now. Cool story. She had to overcome some adversity, and here she is now playing her best ball at the most important time. Paige Beckers, UConn Huskies, partying like a rock star.
For some reason, when you're so good at something, it kind of gets boring for people.
Okay.
And I think that's what's happening with O's the Mentalist. I think that he's done so much amazing stuff that blows your mind that you can only go to 2 things. One, he's either some sort of sorcerer or everybody's in on it.
That's where
And if everybody was in on it, there's no way in this day and age that couldn't somehow get a rumor out there. And right now there are no rumors. I've never heard one person say with any NFL team or say, we met with the guy an hour ago. He told me to say this name. No, none of that. Mm-hmm. So let me give you a little bit of what happened this weekend. So if you haven't heard of the guy, O's the Mentalist, he goes into these sports realms now, and he's got a great personality. He's very quick-witted. He's really good on air. And on March 20th, a little while ago, at 1:15 in the afternoon, he wrote down the Elite Eight, sealed it in an envelope, and gave it to Ernie Johnson. And they all signed the envelope.
Yeah.
And it was in a FedEx envelope, I think, that went into another envelope or something. There were 2 envelopes. Anyway. So this is his little warm-up. His warm-up is, and I may have to continue this at the top of the hour because it's that good of a story. So I'll tell you what, I'll do that.
All right, well, let me do this real quick.
Because this one could get a little more involved.
You know, sometimes you're a player, you're a franchise, and you get lost in the shadows by big market teams that are within your division, your own league. And one of those teams has been the San Diego Padres. But the Padres, ladies and gentlemen, they came out, in my opinion, and made a statement early on in their opening series because they played a contender in the Atlanta Braves. And they went into their closet and they brought out the darn broom.
Snelly?
On ATL, shouting. 7-4 in game 1, 4-3 game 2, 1-0 game 3, and then on Sunday afternoon, 5-0 This Padres pitching staff was in question. They looked pretty good. You know the stars, Machado, Tatis, Jackson Merrill's going to be a household name, so watch out for them. But that's a nice tone setter for the year. Dodgers start off 5-0 in your division, as they probably should have, but the Padres have been knocking on that door the last couple of years. You sweep the Braves right out of the gate, that's doing something for me. San Diego Padres partying like a rock star.
All right, first hour in the books. We'll come back, and I will give you that story of what this man pulled off in the preview to the Final Four, and you can tell me whether you're buying it or not. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking with no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. It's your money, right? So keep more of it. Make the switch today at huntington.com/yourmoney.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Buckeye Lake Marina Open House is Friday, April 11th through Sunday, April 13th. Register to win some cool prizes. And the grand prize of a weekend getaway at the lake, valued at over $3,000. Includes an Airbnb, a boat for the weekend, and $1,000 in lake area gift certificates. Buckeye Lake Marina will have the indoor showroom packed. Plus, you can visit the Docks and Marina store during the open house, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 11th through 13th. And you could win the grand getaway at Buckeye Lake. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for details. April 11th through 13th at Buckeye Lake Marina.
The best matchup this month is you in a new ride. From Coughlin Ford, get a new 2024 Ford F-150 with prices as low as $45,940. Or buy a new 2024 Super Duty starting at under $49,000 during Ford Truck Month. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this?
I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Spring practice number 8 in the books for the Buckeyes. Ryan Day spoke with the media after and gave his impressions of the young Buckeye quarterbacks so far.
I think that they have the right attitude. I think they have a growth mindset in that they come in every day and put the work in and the preparation in. They just need more and more reps. But there's certainly growth there. We're certainly not where we need to be, but we're getting there.
Ohio State landed a commitment from 5-star safety Blaine Bradford this morning. Bradford is the #1 safety and 23rd ranked player in the 2026 class, according to 24/7. The Cincinnati Reds start a series with the Texas Rangers tonight at Great American Ballpark. Brady Singer makes his first start as a Red. 6:40 first pitch. You can hear it all on the Fan's HD3. We will join in progress here on the Fan at 8 after Buckeye Roundtable. And the Guardians head to San Diego to face the Padres at 9:40. Luis Ortiz gets the ball for Cleveland.
Truth of the matter is, you're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
Indeed. All right. Lot to do this hour. Dave Metzold, CBJ Ringside Reporter 130. This is no longer about beating certain teams. This is about getting points. You didn't get the Ottawa game, so I'm leaving them. They're fine. They're done. We're not catching them, in my opinion. And, you know, you're fighting for that second spot. You've got games in hand. You've got 2 games in hand on the Rangers, a game in hand on Montreal. You're in fine shape. We'll see how these teams attack it later on, what they need. Colorado will be coming in eventually on a back-to-back. I've already looked. I've done some advanced scouting on this. How they strategize the goalie situation. Will they ride Elvis the entire way with a couple back-to-backs? We'll ask Mets that at 1:30. So I rarely, you and I are the same. We rarely watch pregame shows anymore. You're dedicated to the game. The games are so long anyway. You had back-to-back Elite Eights there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't a golf day. Courses were technically underwater. I mean, it got okay in the afternoon.
Let's fire up the simulator.
Yeah. Now, I told you, I'm an outdoor dude, man. I'll hit balls in simulator, but it doesn't do me any It does nothing for my confidence. I don't know why.
That's just how you stay ready so you don't have to get ready, you know?
So I'm watching. I'm just very lazy Sunday, and I'm turn on CBS, and I'm watching the guys, and there's O's the Mentalist. Now, my theory on this is that if he was a little more quirky, if he had a little more David Blaine in him,
okay,
you might buy it more. My theory is because O's is so good and so eloquent, and he's got such personality, and he just seems like a normal dude. Well, how could a normal guy have these superpowers? People with superpowers have to be weird and kind of like introverts, and they just come off like David Blaine, like you're not really sure where they're coming from. Like he's just too normal to have these superpowers. I think that works against him. But what doesn't work against him are the results. And I'm going to tell you how he leveled up this weekend. Not a massive level up, but he leveled up because anybody with these powers, to have that telepathy, you would think, well, he's got to know the lottery numbers. Why doesn't he know the lottery numbers?
Yeah, cash in.
If he knows everybody else's PIN number in the world, how come he can't get us the lottery numbers? Right? So that's a shot against him. So he comes on the set, and they reveal this envelope that he filled out on March 20th. It's now March 31st. 1:15, signed it, sealed it, gave it to Ernie Johnson, swore to who knows what, that it never left Ernie's.
I don't think I want to know what he's swearing.
It never left Ernie's.
That's scary.
Ernie's hands. Then he starts out with a warm-up act. He looks at Kenny Smith and says, "Hey, you're thinking about those buzzer beaters in the tournament and back in your day at Carolina and all that, and and you're hitting a buzzer beater. How many seconds are on the clock when you hit that, a buzzer beater? Like, just dream it up." And he writes down on a grease board, O's does, and Kenny goes, 2.5. Turns around the grease board, 2.5. Nailed it to the 10th. Ernie, then they go to the main act. Ernie opens up this envelope to reveal another envelope. This is from 2 weeks ago. And he asks about the score of the Natty, and Clark gives him a score. And then he kind of goes to Charles. And he goes, "Charles, name it. Think of any player in the tournament. Any player."
Mm-hmm.
Thinks of a name. Don't tell me. Just think of a player. And then at the last second, he says, "Now change it to another one."
Another one.
And they open up the envelope. And Charles said, Jace Richardson, I think. And they open up the envelope, and there's a picture of Richardson in this sealed envelope. All right? They're all kind of falling over. Then he levels up and goes, they open up the envelope that he filled out on March 20th, and he had predicted not only the 4 number ones would make the Final Four. Actually, he had the 4 teams. We're not even complete yet. We needed 2 yesterday. Like, he wasn't sure that Auburn and who played yesterday now? I can't remember. Houston? I don't know.
It's all blended together.
Yeah. And then he also successfully predicted the bracket buster with Arkansas beating St. John's. It was written in there. And then he leveled up. This is the first time I've ever heard him do this. He said, Houston and Auburn are going to win today. He goes, book it. 4 number ones. We're getting it. Now, think about the risk there. Now, if it didn't happen, we had an upset yesterday, I think no one's going to crush him. He still can do his little magic sorcery act anywhere he goes. But it's the first time I've ever heard him predict. Now, he had 2, Maddie, this wasn't against 2 Cinderellas. These were 2 pretty heavyweight matchups. And I immediately jumped on Bet365. And I said, I'm going to put my money where his mouth is.
Oh, this is why you like this guy now.
No,
this is because he made you some coin yesterday.
I've always liked him.
There we go, baby.
I've always liked him. But I've never heard him.
I knew that was going.
Guys,
made him some money, baby.
I've always liked him. What I'm telling you is that as soon as he said that, I started to think, I wonder if the books are kind of upset about this. Like, this guy's put on this act for years.
Does he not know snitches get stitches?
So when you parlay, when you parlayed Houston and Auburn yesterday, you got to plus 136. You got to almost plus 1.5 on your money. So I'm like, all right, well, rarely have I ever heard this guy ever predict games. He's only done this little sorcery act with your PIN number or think of some girl you dated in, 8th grade. Like, I mean, he's always done these weird things. And sure enough, Houston and Auburn both won. So he successfully predicted the bet. And he had the 4 number ones in it that he supposedly sealed up on March 20th, which isn't the craziest prediction, but the fact that he got them all. And I know you're more skeptical than I am because of the stuff that he's been doing. Why isn't anyone...
Here's why I'm skeptical about it. Because every time I see him doing these things, it's in a controlled setting that can be predetermined by talking before the cameras fire up. Whether he's at NFL team X or whatever, rolling around their film room. Like, it would be so easy for him prior to Kenny and Charles and Clark and those guys going on to say, okay, here's what I'm going to ask you. Here's what I want you to do. Like, that's why I don't buy. I need him out, AR, just like on Bourbon Street, just rolling around with random people, just reading their minds. And then I will buy more into this.
So you're saying everyone is in on it?
I believe so. When I see him on TV and he's in these TV studios.
That'd be such a sellout for every single person.
I think everybody's in on it.
That's his act? Is that everybody's in on it?
It's a pretty good act.
And no one's going to say anything?
No.
That's why they call it an act.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the one? By the way, he's not just a guesser of numbers. Mm-hmm. When he went to Dallas and he had Dak hold that deck of cards and he performed that trick where then then he wasn't holding the deck of cards anymore. It was like a goldfish in a little case. Like, how do you do that?
I was about to say, because at some point this gets to the point where it's not even impressive because we see his face on screen and we already know what's coming. Like, okay, Red Panda. Red Panda is the exact same thing. The Asian lady on a unicycle who flips the bowls on top of her head.
Okay, that's awesome. Every time I see that.
Every time?
I'm hooked on that. Yeah, I am.
You know what's going
but it's still.
She's got the balls on her foot. What's going to happen?
It's a skill set that I respect.
It's a talent, right? That's not a trick.
Yeah.
That's a talent, and, she went pro with it.
You go out there and do it, baby.
No. That's not what I was saying. I'm saying once you do it over and over and over again and we know what's coming, it's not that impressive.
His are varied, though. His are different. She's doing the same thing over and over.
Well, his are, when you brought up the deck example of like changing the deck of cards to a fish, okay, that's completely different. But like David Blaine does all kinds of new tricks every time. Like he is very well versed. And it seems like Oz, who I think we're pronouncing it correct. Someone on YouTube is disputing us, but I think you're correct.
No, it's Oz. It should be Oz, but it's Oz. Like, I've done that before. Yes, it should be the Wizard of Oz. It should be Oz. Mm-hmm. His is Oz. It's definitely O's.
All I'm saying is a lot of his work is repetitive. I'm not saying it is not talented. I certainly couldn't do it. I'd be guessing.
So you don't appreciate greatness from athletes when they do it year in and year out? You get bored watching guys dominate? Are you that guy?
You know what he's saying? He's saying, like, back in the day, before you guys were born, there was a guy named Evel Knievel who jumped over everything on a motorcycle. What you're saying is that jumping over 20 school buses, okay, been there, done that. Now you got to jump over the canyon. Now you got to bring some real danger in. That's even, I know what you're saying.
That's different. The only thing I didn't like about Evel Knievel is that he retired like 3 different times. Like he was Brett Favre.
Broke every bone in his body.
He was Brett Favre before Brett Favre, and it was annoying when Brett Favre did it too.
And his son tried to take up with it.
Exactly. Yeah. And now it's annoying when Aaron Rodgers is doing it.
Oh, my goodness.
Here's the biggest knock against O's. The biggest knock is if you truly have Biff's Sports Almanac in your head and you know every outcome, then you should be making, then every time you make a bet,
you should be making millions of dollars.
Right. If somehow that's the biggest knock, is that he's that guy. He's awesome. I mean, I get caught up in it. Obviously, I did.
Well, you're a former magician yourself.
That's right.
Back in the day.
That's right.
So not only that, you're a former magician, so he warms your heart with that, and he made you some money.
That's right.
So you had to give him some love.
I can't believe more people, when he said, book it, Houston, Auburn, when he said that on network TV, the people didn't run to their betting sites and say, all right, if it doesn't happen, then I will learn my lesson.
Right.
But if this guy's telling me,
he probably won't do that again.
I was so surprised he did it in the first place.
Yeah, because
you're these are human beings. He has no idea what the outcome of a basketball game is going to be.
Correct.
He has no idea.
Yeah.
It was a weird level up for him.
I just
why risk it?
I wouldn't say I'm not a fan. It's just the whole gimmick. It smells a little fishy to me.
Goldfishy.
You get him out in just the streets talking to random people, then I'll buy it. Mm-hmm. But these type of, studio shows and all this stuff where there's cameras everywhere and you got time to coordinate these things.
He's creating his own comfort zone.
Dude, I'm telling you, I watched him at Radio Row. At Radio Row, he did Rich Eisen's show, not far from us. And he was predicting his producer's pin number and this and that and the other, and everyone was falling over themselves. They couldn't believe it. Like, you can't tell me that every single person is on the payroll here.
I think
is on the take.
What you do is you reach out to Rich Eisen's campus, and these are the questions I want asked. That's how that works. That's how I think it happens.
All right. We got to. It's not a controversy for sure, but he made me some money yesterday, so thank you. All right. We will come back. And, Maddie, it's your favorite topic. It really is. Controversy on the diamond already. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
It's your college hoops superfan, Timmy Hall here, and normally I would be super sad because the season is winding down, but I'm not. The finals are here, and that means you get one last time to bet on college basketball this season, and it could be the best part. So get in on all the action, expected and unexpected, with DraftKings Sportsbook. You got live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. The place. Ready to make that bet? Check out matchups, pick a team to win. It's really that simple. If it's your first time, time, here's something special. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Anthony Rothman here for Tel-Ohio. Tel-Ohio Credit Union has been financing dreams and fueling the local economy for 90 years. And as the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions, learn why more than 3,000 business owners trust Tel-Ohio. Visit telohio.org/business.
Skyline nachos are back, and now there's a spicy version. Get them with Skyline's cheddar or habanero cheese, topped with fiery jalapeno slices. But hurry, Skyline's regular and new spicy nachos are only at participating restaurants for a limited time.
It's March, and you know what that means. Bracket season. You've crunched the numbers, picked your favorites, and maybe even taken a big gamble on that Cinderella team. But when it comes to your home, gambling is not an option. Spring storms are rolling in, bringing strong winds, heavy rain, and unpredictable weather. The question is your roof ready? At Newman Roofing, we don't leave anything up to chance. Whether you need a new roof, gutter replacement, or updated siding, our expert team is here to educate you, guide you, and give you the best options to fit your home's needs. No high-pressure sales, no surprises, just top-quality work from a team you can trust. That's why homeowners choose Newman Roofing, the #1 overall seed here in Columbus, because we deliver an unbeatable customer experience every single time. So, don't wait until the damage is done. Beat the storm before it ruins your big dance. Call 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com to schedule your spot this spring. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Lock me in a room and show me fake Buckeye highlights against Michigan and just tell me at this point.
Someone please
do that. By 100. It's like, yeah, okay, I believe you.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. columbusmensclinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Fan weather.
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Temperatures will be in the 50s, but dropping as we head throughout the day, and we'll see cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. For tonight, lows overnight down into the upper 30s and mostly cloudy, giving way to more sunshine on Tuesday and highs in the mid-50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony sometimes likes to sit and stare at his bundle of Emmy Awards. Unfortunately, it's through the glass of the pawn shop. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program, Dave Metzel, 1:30. All right, let's get into this torpedo bat controversy. As I mentioned in Party, Yanks go crazy, hitting all the home runs. They set historic record after historic record. 4 more home runs, I think, yesterday when they battered the Brewers again. And so what's up with the torpedo bats? Are they really a competitive advantage? First of all, tiny history lesson. These have been around. This isn't something that was invented this year, and suddenly the Yankees got a box of them and said, let's go. So there was an MIT physicist who was on the Yankee payroll as a hitting analyst, George Costanza-like guy. He went to the Marlins, I think, as some sort of coordinator. It's kind of a little bit like Moneyball in that it's really like Peter Brand kind of thing, but for bats.
I believe his name is Aaron Leonard.
That sounds right. Lenhart or Leanhart or whatever. Leonard. Yeah, probably. You're probably right, Leonard. But so he's being credited for creating this torpedo bat, and I guess it's not really that. I mean, it must be the ingenuity that went into it must be big, but how they're describing it is, well, they just put more wood where the ball's most likely to hit the bat. Okay, well, you played, you know. And some of these bats, certainly the barrels are a little bigger, or what have you. Apparently they're legal and all that. This isn't some sort of the natural Robert Redford Wonder Boy kind of situation where all of a sudden a lightning storm took down a tree and the Yankees are making their bats from it, and all of a sudden they all got lightning bolts on their jerseys. That's not what this is, but the opinions are pretty torn on this. And here's my theory on why. It's the Yankees. It's the Yankees. If it was any other team, you'd probably chalk it up to, okay, that's interesting. But when the Yankees get what people perceive to be a massive advantage, then all of a sudden it's, okay, better check it. The 5 Yankee players who used torpedo bats against the Brewers were all Mickey Mantle. 9 home runs over the first 3 games. Aaron Judge, ironically, does not use the torpedo bat.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He had 4 home runs. So that's why this is a little bit more about the Yankees than it is about the torpedo bats. Because if they've been around for 10 to 15 years...
I don't think a lot of people have used them, though. I think that's kind of what I'm picking up, AR, is that now that this has been out there, and because of their just absolute butt-whooping of the Brewers on Saturday... where
is
they
it a
beat
new
them,
version, Matty, of it?
I'm not sure, brother, but they beat up on the Brewers 20-9 on Saturday. Former Yank and Nestor Cortez comes back. He only gets through 2 innings, gives up 8 runs, all of those earned, and he gave up 5 home runs in that outing, and his ERA currently sits at a nice 36. So good luck getting that down the rest of the way, Nestor Cortez. So my understanding of this is that the bat is, if you will, if you're not a baseball fan, huge baseball fan, just think of kind of like a bowling pin and how that's shaped and how the base of the bowling pin would be like the barrel now of this bat. And there's more of the wood that's, closer to the barrel, closer to the middle of the bat where the label is, which allows these hitters to have more of a, let's say, striking zone for the ball.
So it's got a bulge in it.
Correct. So when the baseball comes in and connects with your bat, there's more of a, quote, sweet spot now on this bat. It's not illegal yet. We shall see where this goes. But right now, it's not illegal. and we shall see where it goes. This reminds me of the conversation around the sport a few years ago when they were talking about the baseballs being juiced and all of that stuff, and the advantage went to the hitters. They went away from that for a strong period of time, and pitchers have done their thing for the most part, which has been the history of the sport. Pitchers are going to dominate more times than not, but what this can do is provide more offense for the league. So this is going to come down to, in my opinion, what Rob Manfred wants, the commissioner of the league, and whether or not he's going to come in and say, this is bad for our sport. I don't think we need to go there just yet because of one or two games that happened around the league. This wasn't a widespread thing. It's also, I don't think, a surprise to anyone that the team that has Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm and some of these big names and Cody Bellinger just completely went off for a weekend. Those guys do that. But Jazz Chisholm, he did tweet out today, AR. He said, okay, explanation, the barrel is bigger, and within MLB regulation for the idiots that say it's moved to the label, you're an idiot. Nobody is trying to get jammed. You just move the wood from the parts you don't use to the parts that you do. You're welcome. No more stress for y'all. So there is a Yankees explanation on this because they're all sitting back and probably walking around the clubhouse and not liking the chatter that people think that they're cutting corners early on.
I don't think it's for everyone, right? I think it certainly fits more of the guys that can probably hit the ball out of the park. You know the old phrase, barrel up and all that. And if you got a bigger hitting spot, a bigger sweet spot, whether it's golf, tennis, whatever, the difference in baseball versus tennis or something like that, where the rackets became bigger, is you lost control. Mm-hmm. You just lost control. It had more of a trampoline effect. Well, you love the trampoline effect in baseball, unless you're kind of a real precise hit for average guy and you feel good about the weight of the bat. If you're not a swing and miss guy and you just want to swing for the fences, this seems like the bat for you. Trevor McGill of the Brewers was quoted by the New York Post saying, I think, well, they were on the wrong end of it, so I can't imagine this being positive.
Exactly.
Trevor McGill, I think it's terrible. I feel like it's something used in slow pitch softball. It's genius. Put the mass all in one spot. It might be Bush League. It might not be, but it's the Yankees, so they'll let it slide. No, actually, I think they'll let it slide because think about the alternative. They go crazy. They're not the only team using them. Other players are. If you stepped in after the opening series and said, that's the reason these guys... And you swiped them from them, and actually I would start to be a Yankee sympathizer then. I'd be like, wait a minute. You've got to let this... Wait, here are the two questions you got to ask. Are they legal? Yes. Does everybody have access to them? Apparently, yes. Done. End of story.
That's it. As long as you're not corking your bat or anything like that, I'm good with this. I think this is actually great. Pitchers win way too much anyway, more times than not. I know your boy Belch, our boy Belch, he ain't going to like hearing that, but he knows that they dominate. He knows that they dominate. Here's the thing in baseball, as we all know. Every batter doesn't use the exact same bat when it comes to weight and all of that stuff. And there's always been different ways where you could just shave the handle and all of these things to try to get some type of advantage. Until we see, AR, that this drastically has changed the sport, then I'm okay with this. I'm absolutely okay with this, and these guys wouldn't have been able to go out there this weekend if they were illegal and use them. So MLB's already signed off on them. I don't think now is going to be the right time or should be the right time to yank this away.
You can't.
From the sport because one team and their pitching staff got absolutely cooked.
That's it. I think it would be a story. It's headline stuff because of the team and what they did. If you told me this was, I don't know,
the White Sox?
The A's, the White Sox, somebody that found something that doesn't have maybe the biggest branding power. Diamondbacks, somebody like, you'd be like, okay, that's a cute little story. Mm-hmm. Let's check their bats and see what's going on. But when it's the New York Yankees and everyone thought that maybe they were going to regress this year and take a step back, and they've got a plus 22 run differential to start the season, then all of a sudden it's headlines. All right, we're going to come back in 2 minutes. Our friend Dave Metzold, CBJ Ringside reporter. How will they strategize the goalies? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Michelle Smallman here. Do you want to be at the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Travel Wisconsin is sending 10 lucky fans and a guest to the draft. Experience the thrill of the draft firsthand and make memories that will last a lifetime. Don't wait. Enter Travel Wisconsin's Dream Draft Sweepstakes. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how you can win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Epic moments that become lifelong memories are waiting to be discovered across Wisconsin. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Like trying to snap a picture of Bigfoot. Nobody has ever witnessed Maddie eating a carb. This is Rothman and Ice.
The playoff push is on. Nobody's running away and hiding. The Jackets have 4 games in 6 days. It'll feel like the playoffs. Home and then on the road. They have a game in hand on Montreal. They have 2 games in hand on the Rangers. And they are 2 points back of the final playoff spot, the final wild card spot in the East. The man who has a ringside seat or a rinkside seat is my man Dave Metzold, and he's with us now on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Did you stumble into that annual team photo, my man?
No, I was not invited. Surprisingly, not invited.
So let's talk about that insane game with Vancouver. And it goes to the fact of what I've been saying for a while now is you can say what you want about the Jackets, whether they've overachieved, whatever you want to say about them and the story they've become. But the one thing you and I have known for 25 years is that sometimes things just don't go their way. They're on the bad end. They give up goals in final seconds of periods. Like it seems like it's almost like their calling card. And to be able to rescue that game after they were down, took the lead way down, like the identity of this team, can you speak to it?
It tells me, and I'll use the word capable, it tells me that this team is capable of anything. You know, you come down from 3-0 down after 1, you come down 5-3, you get a goal taken off the board, and you still overcome that. They are capable of anything. They certainly have the skill and the resolve to do anything. It's a matter of applying that every night because, as we saw, the very next night, they go into Ottawa and can't find a goal in the first period, can't find really any opportunities. I mean, Boone got one, but they can't find consistent opportunities throughout the next 2 periods. And it really took them until Marchenko scored in the third before they got to their game. And that's what's frustrating because, again, I'll go back to the word I started with. They are capable. They're certainly capable of anything. I just want to see it a little more consistently.
Dave, you mentioned the captain. You mentioned Boone, and I want to stay right there with him because right now, putting the puck in the back of the net, hasn't even played in 20 games yet this year, so wouldn't be surprised if there's still a little bit of that lingering rust going on for him. But right now, what you're seeing from Boone down there, just talk about that.
I think you're exactly right. I think he's played 16, missed most of the season. And no matter what you say about how hard you work to get back into the lineup, you got to shake that rust off. You got to get up to game speed. And I think that's what we're seeing out of Boone. I think we're seeing him go to the hard areas now with a little bit more confidence. That's where he scored that goal the other night. And I think that he is now getting to mid-season form very late in the season. And that's really important for this team because the goals are harder to come by. It's more physical. It's more demanding. It takes more of a resolve to go into the corner and dig out a puck or to sit in front of the net when you got a defenseman pounding on your back. And that's what Boone brings. And he leads by example in that way.
Dave Metzold with us, CBJ Ringside reporter here on Rothman and Ice. So, Mets, they've got a back-to-back coming, Toronto and Ottawa, Saturday and Sunday. They'll have a back-to-back against the Caps the following Saturday and Sunday. And they only have 10 games left, and they've got to make a push here. Terry played on Saturday. Elvis has kind of owned the previous 4, I think, before that. Jet had that one against Jersey in that low-scoring affair. How is Dean going to strategize the goalie, or maybe he doesn't have to? If Elvis is playing well, do they ride him, and even do they ride him through the back-to-backs?
I don't know if you can ride them back-to-back in both of those situations because that Ottawa game is an early game. So they play Toronto. Then I know it's a short trip. It's not like this last weekend. It's a short trip, Toronto to Ottawa, but that game is earlier. It's another 2 hours earlier. So I don't know if you want to go back-to-back with Elvis there. And Tarasov has not played horribly. I mean, both of them have had their moments of positivity. And then, I mean, to go back to that Vancouver game, Elvis would probably like to have a couple of those goals back, maybe 3 of those goals back. So you got to go with the guy who's feeling it. But in those back-to-back situations, again, I don't think he'll do it Toronto, Ottawa. Maybe Washington, because that first game here is a 12:30 start. That gives you a little more time to recover. But you got to go with the guy who's playing well. And just like the rest of the team, it's got to be the goaltender who feels like he's going to grab it. Like he says, okay, I'll take it. I'm going to go out and grab a win for us tonight.
And they've loved him up in the monsters, Jet Greaves. But is he in line to maybe come back and help him with this push?
Let's talk at the end of the week and see where they are at that point, right? Because they got to win these 2 games at home, I believe. They got 2 teams coming in, both of them on the back half of back-to-backs, and they got to take advantage of that. Let's see where we are at the end of the week.
Who is the guy for you, or maybe guys, in your opinion, that need to be that X factor, the guy that can be either a glue guy to put them over the top, or maybe it's one of the headline names that can take his game to another level to really push this team to where they want to go? A couple X factor guys for you right now, Mets, coming down the stretch.
Well, it certainly has to be Boone as number one. I think Fantilli and KJ have already elevated their game. Maybe there's another step there. Marchenko obviously has played well lately and is finding the back of the net. And it's interesting, just to interrupt myself on Marchenko, I talked to him this morning about when he's going to lose that whole face shield, and he hopes maybe in a week. And he said, I can't wait because it's going to make such a difference. So, look for that little step that could make a difference in 86's game as well. But then I look to a guy like Cole Sillinger, who certainly has the skills, has been out, has been back now for a couple of games. That's a guy who I think can step up and really help this team and really has a couple more steps in his game that he can get to. Again, coming off an injury, but look for Cole. And the other X factor there, guys, is a guy who hasn't played in the last couple games, and that's JVR. Veteran guy, big guy, goes in front of the net, will get that tip-in goal or, create a greasy one in front. That's a guy that I think if he finds his way back into the lineup here could really make a difference.
Give me your take on the impact of Monahan coming back. He's been so good, obviously, before the injury, but having that guy in the lineup seems to be something that's just paramount. Like, you have to have him, and he's been so good.
He's been so good, and you look at the score sheet, and you see the assists, and you see the goals. What you don't really pay attention to are face-offs and what he does on the power play. He plays that bumper position on the power play and does it like no one else on this team right now. So he contributes in a lot of different ways that people don't see. And then there's always the added intangible of his veteran leadership. Those young players that I mentioned, KJ, Fantilli, they look up to him. They learn a lot from him. They learn from him every shift. And in the occasion where they're on the ice with him, they really, I think they gel together well because they have such respect for him. So he does it all. He's going to be a guy who has to continue to do it all through these final 10.
A guy that we haven't had a chance to see yet here with the club and hope to see in years to come is Caden Lindstrom, Dave. And I know there's been some stuff out there over the last 24 to 48 hours about what's next for him. What's your understanding of exactly what is next for the young kid that seems to be very promising as far as him being a hockey player?
Well, no confirmation yet from really the Blue Jackets or from Michigan State, but you've seen the reports out there that he's heading to Michigan State to continue his career there. It's a new change in the rules now that allows players from juniors in Canada to go play NCAA hockey. I think the key thing there, Matty, is to get him on the ice and get him playing some games. He hasn't played all season. He's been on the ice, obviously, rehabbing from that back situation. But that guy's got to get some games in, right? And the season is running short. I don't think there's an opportunity for him to get into any type of serious competition between now and, when we start taking time off. But certainly next season, we need to see Caden Lindstrom on the ice. He needs to be on the ice to continue his growth and development. Number one, or first-round pick, right? Golly, you got to get that guy on the ice playing some games.
Hey, Mets, I know some of the guys may be taking some maintenance days, but what can you tell us about Dante Fabro and whether he'll be back soon on the blue line?
Yeah, talking to Dean today, he said he will be evaluated between now and tomorrow, and he's very hopeful that he can get back into the lineup. He's listed as day-to-day. They certainly need him in there. I love the pairing of he and Z. Obviously, they've done it all season long, so hopefully he's going to be back. Werenski today was a maintenance day. Monahan today was a maintenance day. And, with Zach, I mean, the guy's playing a half hour every night. You could certainly understand. You could certainly understand him getting a little practice day off. I think he's got his game where it needs to be.
Mets, did you take a maintenance day today?
I took a half a maintenance day. Okay. How about that? I did go to practice, but I don't really plan on doing much else the rest of the day.
Yeah. Do you have hot tub access over there?
No, I do not have hot or cold tub access. If I had one, I would choose the cold tub because the joints get a little achy this time of year.
Yeah. You got to control that inflammation, my man. All right, big week, Nashville, Colorado, then off on the road again. So just keep gathering as many points as you can, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
And grab it, right? Like nobody else in the East really seems to be grabbing this thing. It's an opportunity for the Jackets to grab it. Let's go.
Yep, go out there and take it, Herb Brooks. All right, my man. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
That's our boy, Dave Metzold, CBJ ringside reporter on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. A lot of great information there. We'll come back with a Buckeye Bulletin. And Ryan Day spoke today, his impressions of his quarterback room. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Colin Man here for Weed Man. I always have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. It's luscious. I swear by two things: water and Weed Man. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will make sure your lawn is weed-free and looking gorgeous. Of course, they get rid of weeds, but they also do aeration, mosquito control, grub control, crabgrass prevention, and flea and tick control for your four-legged friends. For a free quote, give them a call, 614-733-3747, weedmanusa.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, people are officially going crazy over our sleek, black-framed windows. They change the entire look of a home.
Leslie, nobody believes that just black frames can change the look of a home.
It's like when Superman put on his black-framed glasses and became Clark Kent.
Wait a second. Clark Kent is Superman? Are you messing with me right now?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus. at PellaColumbus.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Michelle Smallman here. Are you dreaming of seeing your team draft their next superstar? Travel Wisconsin is sending 10 lucky fans and a guest to the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Witness unforgettable moments and make memories that will last a lifetime. Don't miss out. Enter Travel Wisconsin's Dream Draft Sweepstakes. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how you can win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Epic moments that become lifelong memories are waiting to be discovered across Wisconsin. Terms and conditions apply.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time, and we had Jeremy Birmingham on earlier today at 12:30. If you missed it, check out the podcast. Great stuff on recruiting with Ohio State and who they're in on. We know one thing. They got a commit from Blaine Bradford, who is one of the top players, well, top safeties in the nation, but a lot of people are ranking him as one of the best players for the 2026 recruiting class. And he was a kid from Baton Rouge. He is a kid from Baton Rouge. So that means that Brian Kelly had to want him badly. Now, how they missed on him, or whether he's loved Ohio State or coming off the Natty or watching Caleb Downs flourish, wanting to be a Buckeye, it's great. Come to the Big Ten. And so he committed to play for Ryan Day. And this is also a big deal in that Ohio State just changed their defensive coordinator. Yeah. And so you never really know how these things are going to go. Maybe the kid had his eye on Ohio State with Jim Knowles. You never know. And so the fact that they got him out of Baton Rouge. LSU certainly wanted him, their own backyard. Oregon wanted him. Texas wanted him. Bama probably wanted him. And so 2026 so far, and Berm said, you don't have him until you have him.
Got a few months to go.
But he has committed. Yeah. And don't be surprised if somebody takes a run at him and tries to lure him back somewhere. But beautiful get for Ohio State today.
No question. And you got to think about, too, what Brian Kelly and LSU just dealt with Bryce Underwood, flipping his recruitment from LSU to Michigan. And that seemed like it came down to, a little home cooking, but a lot of coin as well was rooted in that decision to go from being a Tiger to being a Wolverine. So that competition is never going to stop. Coach Day, his staff, they obviously know that, and they're going to do everything they can to lock that down, because a lot of people were very excited about this commitment because of the player that he is and eventually can be. So I think if you're a Buckeye fan, you're looking at a couple new assistants that have come into this thing in Matt Guerrieri, and you're looking at Tyler Bowen, right? You got a guy on the back end of that defense, your safeties coach making some noise out there, and I'm sure he and Patricia had some nice talks with this guy, but Guerrieri's a safety coach, so we'll give him credit for this. And you also look at Tyler Bowen and what he's been able to do out there on the recruiting trail, and that's what you want to see. You know Coach Day, he's the face of this program, one of the best coaches in the sport. He's going to represent the brand well, but you need guys up and down that staff that can go out there and do their thing too. And so to see two new names come in and immediately make an impact out there on the trail is big time stuff. So credit for them to doing it. They just got to keep it rolling and keeping this fresh new blood, and more importantly, high-end talent coming into the city and going out there on Saturdays and balling out.
So that's the third top 300 dude just this month. And they got Maxwell Riley, who's the offensive tackle from in-state, Sam Greer, and a 4-star corner. And so Ohio State is kind of building for the future here, and we know where they are in the present as national champs. So right now, they signed a top 5 class, if you believe the rankings, for 2025. And so we know Tavian St. Clair and Devin Sanchez. St. Clair probably wouldn't be the guy this year, but I would not certainly put that in cement. But Devin Sanchez, we should see.
He plays a position, too, to where you can rotate guys in, right? Devin Sanchez has a whole bunch of talent. You look at the frame, it's what you want in the corner with the length and the athleticism and all of that. So he's got some vets ahead of him that he can learn from. But, yeah, I would not be surprised at all if we're talking midseason, latter portion of the season, that Devin Sanchez is in the mix, because he definitely seems like he is that. And if you're a true freshman, you look at what happened last year with Jeremiah. Jeremiah just may be that alien one-of-one type of guy that we don't see for a very, very long time. But it shows that no matter where you are, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, if you're ready to play, they're going to throw you out there, and especially in this college football playoff era, to where they really want a bunch of depth. You want depth when you're playing 15, 16 games in a year. So, yeah, Devin Sanchez, no doubt, is a name to watch out there in that cornerback room.
The other thing that everybody wants an update on, especially when Ryan Day takes the podium, is the quarterbacks. You know, eight practices in now. Where do things stand? He gave kind of a lengthy summation of the impressive part about all of them, and here you go.
It's been good to watch CJ work and in sort of a new role. I think he's embraced it and doing a nice job. Arvell as well, you know, is doing some really good things.
All right, that's Arvell. That's my bad. I'll take one for the team there. He was asked about the quarterbacks.
It depends on when you ask. I think, yeah. Right now, I guess, you know, I remember when I was in the NFL, I'd listen to some of these scouts talk about players, and they never wanted to show their hands, so they'd make comments like mixed bag to the negative. That's the way I'd feel coming off the field today. But there's been really good progress in that room. All three of them, I can, recognize that there's been growth in all areas, and then there's other moments where they have 2 or 3 plays in a row that, I just, we all get frustrated, but we're going to keep coaching them and keep pushing them. I think that they have the right attitude. I think they have a growth mindset in that they come in every day and put the work in, the preparation in. They just need more and more reps. So we got to give it to them. And I think going into the spring, or at least coming off of last year, thinking about the spring, I felt like, boy, we really need to be smart about what we do this spring. Need to cut back on the spring, and then as you get into it and you realize, a lot of the new faces, I realize we need more and more reps. So, we're trying to do that as best we can, but also keeping the guys healthy. Today was a helmets practice. The next 3 this week will be padded. And a big part of that is learning how to practice with each other to keep guys healthy so we can get these guys more and more reps. And I think they just need more and more reps. But there's certainly growth there. We're certainly not where we need to be, but we're getting there.
I don't know if he's going to compare anybody this year to what he had last year. It would be almost impossible. He had a 4,000-yard passer last year, was 71.5% with 35 touchdowns and 10 picks, who could also run the ball and was physical. Like, all right, you had that guy. You went out and got him, and look what happened. Now you're trying to develop and grow a younger quarterback with the weapons that you do have, with a brand-new running back room and all that. And so it'll be interesting to see where he puts the bar. I think his bar has always been pretty high on accountability, dedication, all the discipline he wants his quarterbacks to have. Yeah. From a result standpoint, it'll be very interesting.
I just think at this point, you just want your quarterback to just be taking care of the small things day in and day out. I think we all just got to have patience with this, because they're not going to know for a while, and I think that's okay because of the inexperience that you mentioned. But when it comes to the everyday operations of just being the leader, getting guys in and out of the huddle, and just making the right play and just executing what's in front of you. That's what you want to build right now. I'm sure they'll start throwing more on their plate as the weeks go along, especially when we get down to the nitty-gritty of training camp and all those things. But, yeah, it's going to be a good competition, and when they come out on the other side of that and come out of that tunnel week 1, I can't wait to see what they got, whether it's Lincoln, Tavian, or Julian Sands. It's going to be a fun ride. This is the enjoyable stuff when you get a quarterback competition, no doubt.
And that is today's Buckeye Bulletin. All right, guys, I'm talking to you. If you're a guy in your 30s, 40s, 50s for sure, and you've been feeling tired, you've lacked motivation and drive, gained a little weight, I get it, but it's springtime. You should start to feel a little better about your situation. And if you don't, it could be signs of low testosterone. So I don't want you to wait any longer. You can find out by going to lowtcenter.com, and you can book an appointment, and they'll make it real easy to get your levels checked. It's the simple test. They have an on-site lab. You get those results back right there. So you don't have to guess anymore. And it's not a typical doctor's office. They have physicians that specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT as they call it, for every patient. And the experts have more than a decade of experience. They'll help you. They've helped others. And they'll personalize the treatment plan and optimize it for you. And it's not just a basic standard treatment. If you are a current patient, you know what I'm talking about. And they'll offer you $150 in referral credit for every new patient that you refer. So you can talk glowingly about it because of your experience and get back to feeling your best. So if you're a guy and you've been guessing, don't guess anymore. Go to lowtcenter.com, book that appointment. lowtcenter.com, Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. All right, we'll come back. Top of the hour, Sports Center update. And then the owner is on the record. They finally got him to say it. We'll tell you what that means next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Columbus knows what it takes to be a champion. Just like your favorite team, Caster Connection plays to win. Our heavy-duty casters and wheels offer unmatched durability and ergonomic performance from manufacturing and material handling and beyond. With an unrivaled online inventory and the best consultative experts in the industry, we'll help you find the right caster for any job. Shop now at casterconnection.com and save 10% on online orders with promo code ROLL10. Not a retail location.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Confidence is key this March, both in picking the right Cinderella teams for your bracket and the right contractor for your exterior project. When it comes to your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call the team you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call 614-NEW-ROOF today or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. You could get paid up to 2 days faster and there's no cost. So stop playing the waiting game. Make the switch today at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Ryan Day spoke with the media after spring practice number 8 this morning. He was asked about his evaluation of the offensive line.
Up front, I feel good right now, or feel solid interior. The development of the tackles is still something that's, a work in progress that I feel like we have what we need there, but there just needs to continue to get more and more reps.
The Buckeyes got good news this morning when they landed a commitment from 5-star safety Blaine Bradford of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Brady Singer makes his first start as a Red when they host the Texas Rangers at 6:40 tonight. You can hear it all over on The Fan HD3. We will join in progress here on The Fan after Buckeye Roundtable at 8. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or online, sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the baby Chetster. At the switches, we're happy to have Cole in as our brand new producer for the show. And he gets the gold star today, and I get the screw-up of the day because I played the wrong soundbite there in the last segment. So that's what happens when you try to take it over.
Listen, man. Everybody has their hiccups, okay? I thought there was how many days in March a few weeks ago? What did I say?
I don't know, 29.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we all have it.
29
brain
days in
farts,
March.
man.
It's the leap year, March.
Exactly.
The leap month.
Don't beat yourself up too much about it. It's all good.
All right, thanks, my man. All right, so sometimes in anywhere in life, relationship, employee, boss, relationship personally, sometimes the one thing you want, and this happens to everybody, is when the other, and that's why I brought up the whole screw-up thing, is sometimes you just want the person to say, yep, that's on me. Screwed up. Sorry. What happens when you keep defending it is then the pot continues to boil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, eventually, you just got to say it. Say it. And in the old school, that'd be called a Sam Kinison, boys. Just say it. The Browns' decision to trade 3 first-round draft picks and multiple others for Deshaun Watson, when it happened, think about this if you're a Browns fan. When it happened, the most people weren't saying, wow, was that stupid? I didn't hear a lot of that. You know what I heard a lot of? Because it makes sense, because it's human nature. boy, did we need this. Boy, did we need a quarterback. Some guy that's been there, done that, that's young and talented and going to take you to the promised land. Like that was him. And so it's not anything that you can go back now and say, well, I knew this wasn't going to work out. I'll tell you what you may have thought of, and I thought of this, and you probably did too, is you might be getting into a problem with a guy whose character is being questioned and that you didn't know how that was going to affect him mentally, off the field, what he has to deal with, other things, more lawsuits, this and that. Who knows whether that may have. So I'm not going to tell you that the people that said that were wrong because clearly that may have impacted him. Then the injuries came and he wasn't himself. He wasn't seeing the field. Maybe he lost confidence. Who knows? It's a case study with him. But what you did get today was the owner finally fessing up to, I blew it.
Yeah. The quote from Jimmy Haslam down at the owners' meetings is, we took a big swing and miss with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't, and we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. So we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole. It was an entire organization decision, and it ends with D&I, so hold us accountable, end quote. It's go ahead. I was just going to say, it's the obvious, but I respect that they're on record with this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of billionaires, a lot of people in power have massive egos, and that's helped them get to where they are in life and made them a lot of money. I completely understand that, but sometimes you don't get a lot of people in power that admit, especially publicly, that they goofed up and blame me for it. And so credit to Jimmy and D for doing that today. And so this organization has had this anchor around them for the last few years, and you're so right about the draft capital that they gave up, because at the time, you look at where Deshaun was playing, and you could be like, okay, I understand it. The money was definitely a situation where I feel like a lot of people had sticker shock. When you look at the $230 guaranteed, not really incentivized, not if you get us to this amount of playoff games, regular season wins, this amount of passing yards, yada, 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 you can get to that money. No, this was right out of the gate. You sign the dotted line. Here's $230 million guaranteed. That was like, okay, whoa, that's something that we don't see very often, especially with a guy that's dealing with some very sticky stuff off the field. And so now you're in this situation to where the last 3-4 years, you've been in this gray area of uncertainty with what you're going to get. And it just shines a light on when the people in charge have these big time decisions to make, that you better get it right, or it can set your franchise back, not a season, not 2 years, but you're talking possibly a handful of years, especially at this position. And so that's why all of this is fun to talk about this offseason now, because of where they are with their draft pick and picking 2 overall. And I want to read you this quote because Mary Kay Cab is tweeting this out, who's been a Browns reporter for a long time for Cleveland.com. Jimmy Haslam said today, quote, that they have to get it right in the draft. And if the quarterback isn't there, they'll take a year or 2 to get that right.
Okay, so I have 2 reactions to that. 1, I can't tell you whether I buy it completely. But 2, I'm a little surprised he said it. Because my mind has always gone to that line he had earlier, which is dig ourselves out. The only way to dig yourselves out, Jimmy, is whether you start acquiring the picks that you so gallantly gave away to get the franchise quarterback. And like I said, I'm not going to go back and completely crush him for the player he got. The player he got when you have the most important position in football and you got a really good one, then you got a chance. Yeah. And so he went for it. Who knew what was going to happen personally with Deshaun and the injuries and the shoulder and all that? That's part of the gamble of it. But the only way to truly dig themselves out, and this is counterintuitive, was to trade Myles Garrett, meet his request, get a couple first rounders, do what you can, trade out of 2, move down to 6 or 7.
Or sit on those picks for the next year or the year after that, yes, like Jimmy's saying, and then move up to get the guy.
Yes. Honestly, it's weird that the owner, it was almost like he had a weird moment today. Like, all right, come at me. I'm an open book today. Like, and here's the other thing, hold you accountable. In what way? You going to discount the season tickets this year,
You know
Jimmy?
that ain't happening. They got a new stadium on the way. They ain't doing that. You know it.
How do we hold you accountable? How do you pay back the fans for the mess that you say you want them to blame you for?
The only
it's
way,
just words.
The only way, and you're right, the only way that you pay the fan base back is by finding the guy. That's what's going to turn this around. Bottom line.
Well, here's
all this other stuff where you re-sign Myles Garrett to significant money, and rightfully so, he's earned that. You may do some things in the draft where you get a position player or two that's going to turn into a starter. That's fine. All that's fine. But until they get a guy under center that can get busy week in and week out, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere because you can have these good rosters and have quarterbacks that come in that give you a safe floor. That's going to put you in the middle, and that's arguably the worst place to be, where you're winning 8, 9, 10 games a year. Sometimes you got to bottom out and go all the way to the bottom like you were talking about. They had an opportunity to do that. They didn't want to do that. Miles obviously believes that that's not going to be the case either based off of what he's been told when it comes to the quarterback and buying in to that. But that's what they got to figure out. And so now Jimmy has him talking about the draft on record is fascinating to me because at the end of the day, he's going to have to sign off on the pick no matter what it is at 2. Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Shador, Cam, whoever that is, he gets final say in all of this. So Andrew Berry, Stefanski could be banging the table for whoever they want. This is going to fall at the feet of ownership again this year, and I cannot wait to see what they do. But the fact there that the back end of that quote says that this may take a year or two is something that we got to remember because maybe they aren't looking at Shador or Cam and thinking that that's the guy that can get things going right now.
I'm with you. I feel like I can't trust him, but I feel like he said something today. I don't think the Browns can dig themselves out in this draft with these quarterbacks. It just doesn't feel like that. If this was a draft where you had star quarterbacks, what most analysts would say can't miss guys, and you're picking number 2, I feel you could say dig ourselves out and feel like, okay, they can do it in the draft. But this one seems a little odd to me. And I feel like Jimmy kind of went out there and took the bullets for the Deshaun thing and maybe was trying to – because when you take the bullets for the Deshaun thing, maybe the fan base finally says, okay, we got him to say it. That's great. And you know what else? Maybe if he gives you that, he can kind of also give you a spoonful of the other medicine, which is we may have to wait.
Yeah.
Like I think that when I hear it in his voice – it was almost like, okay, I'm going to give him this. I'm going to admit it because everyone has wanted me to admit it. I screwed up. All right, I'll do that publicly. I'll take that shame. And you said it.
Cersei Lannister.
Billionaires don't love it.
No.
If only you and I knew about truck stops back in the day, maybe we would be there. But I also feel like he also said, all right, now that I've softened him up, I can give him the medicine of this may take a little while.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave us both. It was like an old scene out of Wall Street when Charlie Sheen stumbles into the board meeting and they're like, well, if you can't pay the loan back and we're only going to pay the loan back in 12 months if you liquidate the hangars. And they're like, and the planes, if you sell them off. And they're like, okay. So what Jimmy told you is the only way we're digging ourselves out is if we liquidate. But the difference is that he wound up keeping Miles because I feel like that's a Hall of Famer he didn't want to lose. They could have easily traded him. Now, what they could have gotten, I don't know, but they could have gotten probably a lot, but somebody would have had to pay him too. And then if they trade down from 2 and get a really good player, but kind of get an additional pick out of it or something, they need to start reacquiring their way out of this. And I don't see them doing it by drafting Shador.
No. And here's what I think. Just going back to the quote, because my mind's been cooking here for a second. It says they have to get it right in the draft, and that if the quarterback isn't there, Jimmy, there's going to be one of the quarterbacks there.
They're there.
So I think he's telling us that they only believe in one of them. And maybe that guy is Cam Ward. And so if the quarterback is if Cam Ward goes at 1 AR, this quote leads me to believe that the pick is not going to be Shador Sanders.
But will it even be a pick? Because everyone's saying, and I've said it too, of course you'd like to see the bookends of Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett. Why wouldn't you, especially in that division facing those quarterbacks? But is that going to dig you out? You may need to move that pick, number 2, slide down, acquire something.
Yeah, maybe.
Stefanski talked about it. We'll hit you with those next. He talked about the quarterback he has. and possibly the quarterback he might have. We'll do that next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron?
Yeah, Jerry?
Something is wrong.
Something's wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely something.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Thumping and bumping and jumping.
What is?
But it's not pumping.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry?
Yeah, Aaron.
Are we talking about your sump pump?
Yeah. Isn't it great?
Isn't what great?
I like the sound of it. Sump pump. Sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, can you keep a secret?
Aaron, I'm as silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
I kind of like to say it too.
Hey, I should invent a sump pump that lets you know when it's working.
How would it do that?
It would say, sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
That's a great idea, Jerry, but a sump pump should be exactly like you.
How so?
As silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Bands are us when dreams don't get in. Bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Bands are us when dreams don't get in. Bands are us.
Columbus knows what it takes to be a champion. Just like your favorite team, Caster Connection plays to win. Our heavy-duty casters and wheels offer unmatched durability and ergonomic performance from manufacturing and material handling and beyond. With an unrivaled online inventory and the best consultative experts in the industry, we'll help you find the right caster for any job. Shop now at casterconnection.com and save 10% on online orders with promo code ROLL10. Not a retail location.
Join your Reds as we honor the Hit King on Wednesday, May 14th for Pete Rose Night. All fans in attendance will receive a Pete Rose replica jersey of the road uniform worn by Pete when the Big Red Machine celebrated back-to-back World Series championships. No one was prouder to wear Cincinnati across their chest than Pete Rose. Be a part of this special night honoring the legendary Charlie Hustle. Get your tickets now at reds.com/Pete.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
Save big money on your next staining project. Now at Menards. Provide exceptional color to your staining project with Minwax Color Series. It offers a rich color with just one coat. Get a quart of Minwax Color Series wood stain in over 240 colors. On sale now through April 6th. Save big on Minwax wood stains. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Skyline nachos are back, and now there's a spicy version. Get them with Skyline's cheddar or habanero cheese, topped with fiery jalapeno slices. But hurry, Skyline's regular and new spicy nachos are only at participating restaurants for a limited time.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Temperatures will be in the 50s, but dropping as we head throughout the day, and we'll see cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. For tonight, lows overnight down into the upper 30s and mostly cloudy, giving way to more sunshine on Tuesday and highs in the mid-50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, first thing we need to do is Bet365. I need to get O's the Mentalist on the horn.
Yeah.
Find out what he's seeing in these games.
We can cook up some anytime home run parlays. That's what we really need. That's where we can make a lot of noise. But where else you can make noise is at Bet365, folks, because they don't do ordinary. And Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. They got some really cool stuff going on right now. If you're a new customer, you get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose.
Here's
That's
the other
great
thing.
Stuff.
Here's the other thing you'll get with Bet365. They're Major League Baseball early payouts, so you'll get paid if the team you bet on goes up by 5.
There we go.
And
There
then
we
you
go.
cash no matter what happens.
I don't know whether or not Jose Ramirez is playing today. I know he got banged up this weekend with what I believe is a wrist injury.
Sliding into a bag.
Yeah, that was a tough
I think.
look, but a late night first pitch for the Guards tonight. They're out on the left coast taking on the San Diego Padres. But on the board right now is Jose Ramirez for 2 total bases at plus 100. So I'm going to go with J-Ram, plus 100, 2 total bases, taking on Fernando Tatis and the gang. Should be a fun game to watch tonight.
What's going on with my guy with the Braves and Michael Harris II?
Money Mike?
Yeah, what's going on there?
I don't know.
He's 1 for 15
Yeah, that
to start the year?
That Padres pitching staff got after them this weekend. Got after them.
He only hit 16 dingers last year, so betting him to get out of the slump and hitting one might be a little rich for me. But it is plus 750.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to just do it.
All right, I'm not mad at it. No risk it, no biscuit. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, let's get back to the Brownies. All right, Baby Chet, set this up for me. You've got a couple of Stefanski sound bites over there. And we just heard Jimmy Haslam kind of, I don't know, tipping his hand, maybe, maybe not. Dig themselves out.
Sorry.
See, I took the bullet. Now be patient. Like, that's what he's asking Browns fans. If I give you admission that I screwed up the Deshaun, will you continue to be patient with us? That's how I heard it. That's how I read it. But he's got his coach down at the owners' meetings in the Palm Beaches. And I think the first one, which one would you like to air first?
Well, since we're talking quarterbacks, how about Shador?
He's an extremely talented football player. Again, getting to know the kid. You watch the tape. I think the important part as an evaluator is you want to talk to the player about plays and how he plays. And I think he sees the game really, really well, has been raised the right way. They've done an outstanding job bringing him along in terms of understanding football. But he's a very, very talented young man. But off the field is where I'm probably most impressed.
Well, that's fine. I think you need to be more impressed on the field to pick him at 2. Like, I got no problem with him being a great guy and raised right. But you're hiring him to play quarterback in the NFL at pick number 2.
Yeah.
So when he says at the end, but more importantly, no, scratch that. I'd rather him be a jerk and be great.
I'm always in that camp. Like, I give me a guy that's a little edgy, a little spicy, a guy that the owner's got to keep the phone under his pillow at night. You never know if you're getting a late night call. But if he goes out there and balls, that's what matters.
Wouldn't that have been funny if he said, listen.
Yeah, you want Lawrence Taylor.
Well, no.
Wouldn't it have been funny if he said, listen, we've just had some years of having a sketchy guy off the field, and what did it do for us?
Yeah, that'd be
meaning he was a great talent, but he was sketchy off the field. So now we're going to reverse it all.
Yeah.
I want a guy who's really clean off the field, but sketchy on. Like I feel like that's when a coach says that in the NFL. Well, more importantly, he's just a really great guy. Okay, that's fine. I do think there are boxes to check in characteristics of leadership, maturity, bonding guys together and all that. There is something to be said for that, but you are picking number 2. He better be more than just a good guy.
I wonder real quick if I haven't seen this anywhere. I don't know if you guys have today, whether Jimmy and D or anybody from the Browns camp spoke about Kirk Cousins down there. Because the more I think about what Jimmy had to say today about, if the quarterback isn't there, then we may have to wait a year or two. That would limit
Are they allowed to talk about it?
There may be a tampering thing. I'm not sure, but you know how I feel about tampering. Everybody's tampering anyway. But maybe that's the plan, AR, is one of Abdul or Travis at 2.
I thought you said Bruce Drennan said they're getting Dak.
Well, Bruce, that ain't looking too good for Bruce right now. It may happen.
Be amazing.
It would be amazing.
Cousins was at the Chipotle.
He was at the Chipotle. He said he liked salad, but everybody was telling us that Stefanski was down in Oxford at, Jackson Dart's Pro Day. Well, maybe the plan is just that. You get through the draft, you go with Abdul, Travis at 2, and then you call Atlanta where the players play, and you say, what do we got to do to get Kirk Cousins up here? You don't. Maybe they don't want to force the quarterback thing. Kevin Stefanski having glowing things to say about Shador. He's saying similar things about Cam. He's going to say similar things about Abdul. That's just what he's supposed to do right now. And I'm sure he's genuine about those things. But the more and more we get closer and closer to the draft, I don't think they're going to force the quarterback thing if it's not Cam Ward.
Especially not with a guy who's 36, 37. I just don't see it. I feel like with Cousins. I don't know what you got to give up to get Cousins. What?
Do you think
third rounder?
Do you think Stefanski may have harped on that personality point because he knows, maybe out of sympathy, he knows the reputation that comes from a cocky family or whatever. So maybe he was just kind of doing him a favor. I hung out with him. I really liked him.
I didn't read it that way.
I don't think you'd need to do any damage control on it.
I think if you want to go down that road, Baby Chet, I think maybe it would lean more towards them letting the fan base know that we're going to get a guy at the most important position that's not going to have off-the-field issues the way Deshaun did. That's the way I would read it if you wanted to go down that road. But I don't think with Shador that's going to be an issue.
If anything, I think that's a positive, is that he's dripping with confidence and has all this composure because he's grown up with it. Mm-hmm. I don't sense they need to do damage control on, here comes cocky quarterback and we need to slow him down a hair.
This is the same franchise that drafted Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but different regime.
No, but I'm just saying, if they're worried about perception when it comes to the quarterback position, I don't think you have to worry about it. I think Browns fans just want a guy. Give us a dude.
All right, what's your next one?
And then the other option we assume would be one Abdul Carter.
He went to LaSalle High School. I went to St. Joe's Prep, and that's like oil and water. So right away I said, hey, did you know where I went to high school? He said, yeah, I heard. I said, is this going to be a problem? They said no. So we broke the ice, but very, very impressive young man. I know a lot of people that know him, whether going back to high school and certainly throughout his college, but really, really impressive young man.
So the Browns are just drafting nice guys, I guess.
Well, here's the difference.
They say nice guys finish last.
The difference is this
the Browns
guy
usually do.
This guy's there's the quarterback, sick him. That's different than playing quarterback. The other thing is he's going to be very, very tough to pass on. He will, because he could be a generational talent like they have with Myles Garrett, and you could have your next Myles Garrett in a way. He's going to be very tempting.
No doubt. And they've been swinging the last few off seasons with, bringing in Zadarius Smith and bringing in, was it Okoronkwo off the top of my head from Houston, 00. They thought he was going to be a guy to pop off. That hasn't necessarily panned out very well. So, getting 2 elite pass rushers it puts your defense. It just has such a good trickle-down effect to every level of your defense. You think about what that could be with Abdul and Myles and the good corners that you have led by Denzel Ward. And on the second level, you got JOK, and we'll see what's up with JOK. I know he's still dealing with that injury and all that stuff, but that could be a big-time boom. And we just watched a team in Philadelphia whoop up on the best quarterback in the sport because down in the trenches, they just had wave after wave of guys getting after him, and Josh Sweat was just on one. So to have Abdul Carter in the building with his talent and to eventually hand the keys over to him from Myles in the future and him turning into a dude, you can definitely see why they're tempted by that. I completely understand that.
I feel like this is an obvious statement. It's going to be a lot easier to trade back than to trade up to number 1. It just is, because Cam Ward is now heads above the rest, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And the Titans are going to be tempted to take him, and they probably will. Then the Browns are sitting there going, well, maybe there's another team that's as quarterback desperate as we are that might want to come up to 2 and take Shedeur. If we don't feel like he's the savior for us, trade back, acquire a little bit, get a great pick still, and do something. They could trade with any of those, the Saints or somebody.
Yeah, you could trade with a team right behind you in New York. There's some buzz out there about Shedeur and the New York Giants and adding him to that quarterback room. So if that's their mindset, then that you're exactly right, AR, is get some teams that you can leverage against one another and raise up that draft capital and get those picks, and that way you can go do what Jimmy said and go get your guy a year or 2 from now.
Yeah. As much as I don't want to believe him, I think it's very much in play. And I think it always has been with a team that's watched them spend so many draft picks and have nothing to show for it. All right, we'll come back in 2 minutes, and we'll stick with the NFL when the tush push comes to shove. Have we seen the last of it? Details next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty promises he'll continue to do the show even if he wins the lottery. If only we believed him. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. So similar to the Yankees and torpedo bats, I feel like the tush push is a singular deal with the Eagles, even though other teams attempt to use it every now and then. But I watched the Bills try to do this with Josh Allen in the playoffs, and they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what gap to put him in. He's turning around. For a physical guy, him not being able to get that half a yard in that game that mattered against Kansas City, like, to me, that should have been an automatic.
What was the end result of that game? They lost, right?
They did lose the game.
What's our rule on this show? If you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win.
That's your rule, Carpenter's rule. My rule and Carpenter's dad is not that rule. Because all yards are not created equal. If you put 11 damn men on the line, then don't give me this crap about if we can't get a yard, we don't deserve to win.
Hey, or the old tush push got the NFL streets talking right now. It seems like outside of Green Bay, who I think proposed this to the league, that they were the one team that they want to get rid of this thing, that there's some supporters now.
It's growing. Momentum's growing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's growing because they don't have the guys to do it.
You think it's that simple?
I don't think it's injuries like the league is saying, even though I think Jalen did wrench his knee a little bit in one of them a year ago, not this past year, but a year before, because I think the Eagles have done so much with it, and they perfected it even without Kelsey, that when you're really, really good at something and you wind up winning it all, like, you can't tell me that if the Eagles were 8-9 and doing the tush push and doing it still well, but they weren't as good of a team, that there'd be this push.
I don't believe so.
Of course not. It's results based.
It is.
If they were 8-9 and still as successful, but just not as talented of a team, I don't think this would be a story.
I also think they have had, over the last year, 2-3 years, the perfect storm when it comes to this. Because I remember we talked to Brian Baldinger down at Radio Row in New Orleans this year in the Super Bowl. He talked to us. He said, guys, like, this Eagles offensive line is massive. This isn't your normal offensive line that you're throwing out around the league. Guys that are 6'5", 300-plus pounds, like across the board, right? You'll see these offensive line. There's a couple of guys that are that big, but they just absolutely beat you up down there in the trenches. And you have the combination of a quarterback in Jalen Hurts that's freakishly strong with his lower half and can squat 500 pounds, squat 600 pounds. And so when you have those two things working together, that's why you can have the success at the high clip that they've had time and time again.
His lower trunk is thick.
Yes.
Here's the deal.
It's that simple.
I will also, you're correct, but it's not the offensive line is the reason we're talking about it. We're talking about it because there's a dude in the backfield that is, quote, the finisher. That's the difference. It's Goddard. It's somebody like that can be, and I will tell you this, that
I'm saving these.
That's the reason. That's the reason we're talking about it. It's not because they have a better offensive line than everybody else. They may.
It helps.
It's whether or not you're okay with another guy in the backfield pushing his teammate forward to get the first down. If I said to you, because that's why it's called the tush push. This isn't whether the Eagles' offensive line is better than most. It is. So they should be entitled to get that yard if they can get it, because like you said, they've got a really strong physical quarterback who can sneak it. But this isn't a sneak. This is another man in the backfield helping the quarterback forward. And that's why they say it's too rugby-ish. It's too scrum. That's it. And I'm sitting here to tell you that I don't love that part of it. Like, get it on your own or don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love the fact that you can physically shove your teammate forward. But I think that's it. The other part I've always, and the reason, because I asked Dean Blandino and Gene Steratore about this at the Super Bowl, I said when I was bugging Dean at the baggage carousel.
We saw him in first class.
Yeah, we saw him in first class. I didn't sit down next to him there. I didn't want to be that guy. Like, who is this guy? Can we get an air marshal? Like, I want to just be left alone. But when we had him captive audience at the baggage claim, I went up to him and I said, why don't they call neutral zone violation? These helmets are touching.
Pretty much.
There's no neutral zone. And he didn't have an answer. He said it should be called. You know why they don't call it, in my mind? Because they know the defense is at such a disadvantage.
Doesn't matter anyway.
That you can't call that, because if you called them lining up in the neutral zone, you'd even tip it more in favor of the offense. So I don't know where to go with this other than if you can sneak a football because you have the better offensive line than their defensive line, your guys are stronger, then that's what football is. If this went away, I wouldn't cry about it. And if it stays, I'm not crying about it. I just think that if you made me take a vote on whether I want it gone, I'd say, yeah, probably.
I think there's a coach that's with you on this, too.
Yeah.
And I think
Mr. McDermott.
Baby Chet has some sound from Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott on the tush push, and here's his take on the play.
My position hasn't really changed at all. I feel where I'm most concerned is, even though there's not significant data out there to this point, my biggest concern is the health and safety of the players, first and foremost.
What are you seeing with the health and safety of the players? Since, as you said, there is really no data to say there's injuries. Like, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I think anytime you get in, it's two things. It's force, added force, number one, and then the posture of the players. being asked to execute that type of play, that's where my concern comes in.
Do you think you'll continue to run the play if it remains and you have concerns about the safety? Do you think you'll continue to run it? Because I think you ran it quite a bit last year.
A form of it, right? A form of it. So I think it's a loose term, really, in terms of what defines a tush push. So there's different forms of it out there. I know we are one of the teams that people identify that run it. That's fair. There's other teams as well. So we're gonna always act in a way that's best for the health and safety of the players, and I think that's the responsible way to go.
Okay, couple things. This guy ran it almost as much as the Eagles ran it. So how are you telling me that it's safety? When you need a first down, he was running it. So don't tell me it's about safety.
And I don't blame him.
It's about the champs. Now, they're not in the AFC. He doesn't have to face them twice a year in a division or anything like that. But you cannot be that guy who ran it as much as he ran it and then sell to the media player safety.
Yeah, that doesn't smell right. That doesn't pass the smell test. I'm with you on that, AR. I think more teams should try to do it. I'm really surprised we haven't seen more teams attempt to do this more often.
I think they are afraid of their quarterbacks getting wrenched under a pile or a knee getting from the side or something.
And I think you and I were looking at the acquisition of Saquon Barkley and thinking that they would go away from this a little bit, and they didn't.
Right.
Saquon was awesome this year. We all saw that, but when they got down to those, second and goals and they're at the 1 yard line, everybody knew what time it was. So they paid Jalen Hurts $50+ million a year, and they're saying, no, we're still going to do that because it works. And you can execute it at a high level if you're Philadelphia. But if I'm, a fan of the Steelers or the Jets or whoever, I want my team to try to do this until the NFL strips this away and says that this play is illegal. Because I understand what you're saying.
Not illegal, Matty. If they can prove it's unsafe.
Right, and we shall see if that's the case. I think we probably need more time to see if that's the case. But what you're talking about, and I think what McDermott's talking about with that added force with a teammate or two coming from behind you, it does feel a bit gimmicky. It does, but for now, I think the focus should be how can we put this on our play sheet and move the change, but more importantly, get into the end zone by doing it. That's all I would be focused on.
It's very hard. It's going to be very hard to abolish this because this is football. This is go get that yard. The one thing, and I'll repeat it, the one thing you could probably question is just the ability to shove a player forward from the backfield. But we see it all the time when offensive linemen come in late where they haven't blown the whistle and they just ram into a pile and get another 5 yards.
You're going to take that away too? I don't think you need to.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be very hard to do it. But if the owners who pay these quarterbacks, but that's where the data about the non-safety, but let's be honest, you're either good at this and you want to keep it in your playbook, or you're not good at it and you're going to vote no.
Correct.
I think it's that simple. The teams that can do it don't mind keeping it in. The teams that don't want to put their quarterback in harm's way or can't run it, they're all for getting rid of it. All right, we'll come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. All tournament long, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Guys, it's college hoops superfan Timmy Hall. The finals are here, and the only thing for sure is this. It's the last time to bet on college basketball this season. It's been an amazing ride to get here, so get in on all the action, expected and unexpected, with DraftKings Sportsbook. Live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. Ready to make the first bet? Check out the matchups, pick a team to win. It's that simple. First time, here's something special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971 for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crowd is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, baby Chet, lay it on us.
All right, well, you know what? I'll do this one first since you just said that. Who is your celebrity lookalike that you get from people?
Now or back in the day?
Back in the day works.
Yeah. Way back in the day, I got Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
And then I got a little bit back in college, probably Joe Montana. Those three. Those two.
I see that. You know I'm a fan of his.
That's good stuff right there. Those two. You can go far with that.
It's over. I said way back in the day.
I've gotten... Now, see, I cut my hair about a year ago. I used to have longer hair, and when I had that, I would get some Nate Burlesons every once in a while.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of been a thing for me the last year or two is Nate Burleson. Like the glasses, the beard, the hair was similar. And so I've gotten those for whatever reason years ago, like a Morris Chestnut would pop up every once in a while. Maybe I was gassing myself up a little bit with that too. But Nate Burleson for me has been kind of the doppelganger, if you will, that's been thrown at me a couple times.
I can't lie!
The reason he asked that question, if you guys are asking, is because the other day on Friday, I trying to convince Maddie that our new producer Cole is a spitting image, even though he's about, well, he's not short, but you're about what? 6'4". Yeah, 6'4". We're comparing to a guy that's 7'1", but spitting image, baby brother stuff. It's right there. I don't. Maddie, you see it now a little more than you did Friday.
I'm coming around to it a little bit.
I'll get a haircut in late April.
Okay.
And
It's so close.
You kind of got the flow like he does. Now I'm looking at it right here. Yeah.
But the beard and the face and everything, man.
You guys could definitely be bros.
We're going to get some sort of a DNA test.
You could definitely be bros. But you're older than he. He's only, what, 22? You're, what, 27? 26?
Hanging on to my youth while I still can.
I'm mad at it. Get it out there in the streets for me, big dog.
All right, tell the truth. Who is the worst golfer you've ever seen?
Are you asking this because the answer is supposed to be you?
I'm just asking. All I want is the truth.
Last I checked, no, because you did get the ball in the air.
Took a few tries.
The worst golfer I've ever seen.
Did you expect him, Maddie, real fast? Did you expect him to be worse, better, or what you saw? I was expecting him to be a hair better, just from an athletic standpoint. I mean, you are an athlete. The ball's not moving. I thought maybe he'd be a little better.
Golf's tough. It's very, very tough. I thought it was about right.
That's what I
was going to say. When I saw him kind of grab that golf club in like a baseball stance, I was like, okay, maybe some struggles here along the way. We get him in a cage, he'll pop off.
I didn't care where the ball went. I just thought he'd be able to thrash it a little more.
Oh, just a little bit more oomph in there?
I thought he'd get a hold. It didn't matter whether it went left, right, sideways, whatever.
A little bit more power.
I just thought a little more of the... Yeah, I thought if he got a hold of one...
Hey, you'll get him right. He'll clean it up. But yeah, no doubt. We get him in that cage. He used to be a catcher, AR. You get him on that diamond. Mm-hmm. He'll make some noise. The worst golf swing I still think to this day is the old Charles Barkley swing with the hesitation in it. Like, what was
hitch?
He doing?
There were like 3 hitches in it.
Have you seen these videos of Ashton Hall on the internet? You've seen his golf swing?
I haven't seen it. Is it a joke?
Dude, he looks like he's taking a slap shot. He's got like one hand up at the end and then one hand in the middle of the club.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If you counted every stroke, every single one, no cheating, nothing, not improving your lie, every putt counted, every shot counted, and we took you to Little Turtle, what do you think you'd shoot? We counted out of bounds strokes, penalty strokes, everything. What would be your over-under?
140.
Okay.
I'll double it up. 144. I'll double up par.
144.
On it for 18? Going at all 18?
Yeah. If that's 9, we're in trouble.
I got to play by myself, though. No one's going to want to play with me.
No. I think this
I'll
experiment.
play in the middle of the night.
No, I think this experiment has to happen.
Oh,
because here's the problem. Also,
gosh.
a turtle, it's a bowling alley. Like you got to hit it pretty straight. Mm-hmm. But I think what I could do, I could probably caddy you to something in the 130s. But you'd have to listen to me.
And listen good.
Yeah, you'd have to. Absolutely. You just do everything I say, and I think we could get you in under 130.
I'm not kidding. That's a bad idea because I'm afraid for the houses on the sides.
No, I wouldn't give you the big dog. That's my whole point. I'd make you play the whole thing with probably an 8-iron and a wedge and a putter. And I think
I can't hit straight. I'm saying it's going left or right. I don't know which one. We'll find out.
No, we knew it was going right. That's why I kept telling you to aim left. Play to your strength. All right, we'll try this experiment this summer. We'll set it over under. You, me, Maddie. We'll go out and we'll see if we can get him in. Now, I don't know, Maddie, if you're ready for a 6-hour round, but it could be fun.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Oh, Cole. This is how we welcome you in. You got to get bodied a few times, okay?
It's all good. All right. I'm watching ESPN2 in here, and they're doing some, draft special thing.
Yeah.
And Mel Kiper's on it. And he dyed his hair to a shade of brown that I don't think his hair has ever been. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of been going silver the past few years, so this is jarring to see. So how do you feel about men dyeing their hair as they age?
Listen, I'm here for anybody and everybody to do what's going to make you feel good, okay? That's where I'm at. Team gray hair, team brown hair, team pink hair. I don't care. If you wake up, you look in the mirror and say, I feel good about myself and feel motivated to go about your day, that's what I'm about. Do what you want.
Very positive response, folks, right
Rothman,
there.
you have a TV background.
There's no question that the aging process can affect everybody differently. I would say, you saying he's going with like a chestnut brown with auburn highlights? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, something like that.
Malachi, I'm going to go with a little chestnut brown, little auburn highlights, make myself feel a little 5 years younger.
Hey, he's got to get right for the draft.
Yeah, I think he can pull it off. He gets the little paint can out, maybe a little lacquer on there. Yeah, I think it's what Maddie said, but I think less is more. Okay. I think you don't overdo it. Yeah.
The truth, it's overrated.
It's overrated. Right. It really is. If you ain't lying or cheating, you ain't trying. Hey, let me let you know this. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. You bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose, Bet365, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Subscribe to our podcast as well, wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Rothman and Ice. It'll pop up every day for you. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone. Those two men are back together. It's been a while. Mike, Jonathan, 3 to 6. Don't move.
We'll talk to you tomorrow at high noon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where our erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in nearly 90% of cases. Listen to what Alex has to say about our ED treatments.
I have been experiencing problems with ED, but that's all changed. My name's Alex, and I've been a patient for Tri-State Men's Health for under a year. I highly recommend this. Every day I wake up feeling good compared to I was back in the old days. It change is more exciting. You know, I don't have a problem with ED anymore. I'm having a lot more fun. I was very comfortable. I was always comfortable in any conversation I had with Tri-State Men's Health. Yeah, I just want to let gentlemen out there know that you do not have to live with ED, that it is not just an aging process. It is also hormonal and balance and everything in your system. And once you get that under control and everything, you do go back to your youth a lot in how you feel.
Thanks, Alex. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Common Man here. I take my job as endorser for Germain Lexus very seriously. I want to make sure that every Lexus on the lot meets my expectations. That's why I personally sit in each one. I massage the leather. Sometimes I take a nap in the back seat. If that's not a selling point, I don't know what is. Deal time. Lease the 2025 ES350 for as low as $409 per month, or get 3.49% financing up to 60 months on their most popular new Lexus models. 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, GermainLexus.com.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, priority access to Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Act now. Visit BlueJackets.com/tickets.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. At Giant Eagle, we combine exceptional customer service and quality foods, all at great value to make the most of your shopping trip. Visit Giant Eagle or Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, did you know that March has a lot of college basketball?
Why, yes, I did, Common Man. And the best place to watch all the action and play the action is at Hollywood Casino. You can reserve your table now at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Not only that, every Saturday in March is UFC Fight Night. They're showing every fight on the big screen. Watching at home is boring. Don't be boring.
All the action happens at ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
To find an agent near you, visit shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians,